Hey, lil mama, I can transform you. No, okay. Copyright. Never mind. Free, fair use. Hey, lil mama, I could transform you. No, I can't dance, but I could. Yo, why do I know all these songs by memory, man? I remember a middle school, uh, dude, friend of mine when I was in middle school, and I remember he said I got to make a project. He said I got to do a thing on why black kids can't. This is mind you, this is a black dude that said he was going to do this project. He said he's going to do an experiment on his fellow ninjas, right? On how we can easily like memorize like a lyrics in a rap song in like a day. No, not even a day. Like we could, well, how we can memorize a rap song in a day, but we can't memorize like multiplication tables or something like that. That was very interesting. I still remember. I remember a lot of those songs, man. Um, what's the song that was popular in 2010? Drake. Miss Me. Yeah, yeah, with Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne's verse on that song was funny. I remember there was kids my age, man, and even young. I remember even younger people my age talking about suck the brown off. Yeah, man. But anyways, dear Lord have mercy, man. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this boy, this ting here. Hey boy. There's gonna be a time when I'm gonna run out of sympathy. There's gonna be a time. There's gonna be a time I'm gonna start running out of sympathy. There. I'm talking about. There will be a time where I'm gonna stop running out of sympathy for dudes because now we have the information, we have the technology, we have the information out here, we have the inside scoop, we have former athletes, we have people that have been through this, and they're putting the need to know information for men, and men are just like, I'm I still believe. They still believe in love. They still, and to the point where they will be openly disrespected in front of cameras, and they will still they stay. Wow, it's really mind boggling. It's really mind boggling to me. We're gonna show you the videos because you know what, people want to focus on the false accusations, and we'll get into that. We'll get into that a little bit, but that's nothing new, right? But what I'm covering here specifically for Travis Hunter is why this channel exists, because he's just goofy for him not to see the disrespect. I'm talking about where you see men and women are looking at this situation, and they're just like, yo, you need a new girl, bro. But men have to learn the hard way, dog, when it comes to this stuff. Like they, they, men are hard headed, dog. Men are hard headed. I'm talking about in the worst way. They hard headed, man. Oh Lord, have mercy. And then also, you know what? Because we might, you know what? I might start this off with Caitlin Clark. I might start this off with Caitlin Clark, low key. Press. I don't know if you want me to go into the videos, or do you want me to start with Caitlin Clark? Because we can go into her and what I told y'all people to stop trying to use Caitlin Clark to push whatever agenda you think you may have, because you're going to be fairly disappointed when you realize she's just as liberal as the rest of the women that you hope that she's not like. And I told people this. I told people this when I did the Caitlin Clark stream. They're like, man, Caitlin Clark, she's being foul. She's being, and I'm just like, well, I don't really see the big deal. First of all, I don't even care about women's sports, but the same people that the same dudes that swear they don't care about women's sports are crying because they found out that Caitlin Clark is quote unquote woke. And I'm like, guys, she's a Caucasian female liberal that plays women's sports. Well, you think she was going to be more on the conservative side? Riley Gaines only shifted to that because there was no money. There was no, like, if Riley Gaines went on to become like an Olympic swimmer and was one of the top swimmers, she wouldn't be on that. She would be on that Megan Rapinoe stuff. But now she's in a certain lane. She's like, okay, what lane should I choose? She's like, what lane should I choose? Let me go the conservative lane. This is how this works, man. Like, I don't know why people people put way too much of their insecurities, their hopes, their whatever on Caitlin Clark, and she's just one woman. Because like I think a lot of men in this space, they're way too focused on quote unquote women need to learn their lesson and they're finally gonna I think way too many men in this space are way too focused on that. Guys, that's not gonna happen. That, hey man, sorry to tell you that's not gonna happen. Find something else to do, man. Find something else to do. I'm trying to look for this Caitlin Clark pick that I got. I know why I can't find it. And guys, and also I do apologize for my lack of posting. Right now, I have been in straight hustle mode. Straight hustle mode. I'm talking about I don't got time for nothing. I've been working, music, performing. I'm talking about no breaks. Car acting real funny around this time because I didn't do the proper maintenances. So I got to finesse that. So I've been in straight hustle mode. So I haven't really been having the time to do what I want to do. But that's gonna change. That's definitely gonna change. I always have one of those months where it's like, yo, where Chris at? Why he ain't posting? Oh no, I do got videos. It's just time. Time. It's not as easy as it looks, man. It's not as easy as it looks, man. Especially if you want to put out high quality a high quality product to the public and the right type of information. Speaking of which, let's also hit a one in the chat if my sound is good. Hit a one in the chat if my sound is good. Just want to make sure I'm on the right pace. Just make sure hit a one in the chat if you can hear me. Um yeah. Just hit a one in the chat if you can hear me, if the sound is good. Because I do remember one stream, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, I didn't even realize that I had plugged in the wrong audio interface. Like I had an extra camera that I use for my piano videos, and I had that plugged in basically as the default, and I didn't realize my sound was coming through the piano camera. So I want to make sure. Let's make sure everything is straight audio wise. Hey, South Holland, what's up, man? Oh, did you see? I saw the Man City game earlier today before my performance. I saw the Man City Man U game. I don't know if people saw that those last 10 minutes. Those last 10 minutes. Crazy. Crazy. Man City almost had the win basically in the last 10 minutes, but a mental error. I forgot who hit the back pass because I just remember just looking up because we were watching Yugi. I was watching I was in the green room for my performance. I was in the green room with my band with the bandmates, and we were watching Yu-Gi-Oh. as our like our as our like pre-ritual, right? And I looked I as I looked down on my phone, I was watching the game on my phone, and while the Yu-Gi-Oh was on TV, everybody was watching Yu-Gi-Oh. I look up watching the Yu-Gi-Oh show. I look down and I just see the pass going back. I don't know who hit the pass. You're gonna have to tell me who hit the pass because I didn't even see the highlights. Somebody hit a terrible pass. I don't know if that was Nunez, but Nunez had tracked back to try to make the tackle on Diallo. And he just, oh my God. This is why I don't really be watching the Premier League like that in terms of consistently, because it's always, first of all, with Premier League, is always terrible refereeing. Like for a league that's supposed to be one of the best leagues in the world, it has some of the worst reffing that you will see in soccer, right? So you got the bad referee, and then on top of this, just the decision making on some of these guys, like that tackle on Diallo was just awful. Like I don't know what I was just sitting there like wow, that's just bad. That's terrible. And then these be the same people that be crying for playing time. Why don't we get more playing time? No, no. it's it's funny. Like people will ask for playing time, and it's the people that should not be that cry for playing time that should not be asking for playing time. And it's no disrespect to Nunes, but there's a reason why you ain't starting, dog. There's a reason why you they try to play him all over the midfield too. They tried him on the wing. I've seen them try him like he's mostly a central midfielder and he can play holding midfield, right? But I've seen him play him on the wings. I've seen him play him in the middle. I've seen him push him up front a little bit behind. I think I've even seen him play that number 10 role, if I'm not mistaken. But I could be wrong about that. But I've seen him. Pep has tried to play him across the midfield, try to get him acclimated for the past year or so, but he's just not starting material. Now you got guys like Alvarez who could start. It's just that Holland's on the team, but he can play. But he's very versatile. Like they played him at the right wing, they played at the left wing. He could play anywhere up front. So he has. There's a way use him, and you can use him off the bench. He can be utilized, but there's a lot of guys out here. You're just not that guy. You're just not that guy, pal. Anyways, man. But shout out to Diallo though, because he's been battling. It looks like every time I would look up, he would always be injured. I always see him in the news for injury. So you know. So South Holland, you said Wolves play Nunes as a second striker a lot. Okay. Because I would see some highlights of him and he would kind of play, he would play in the middle. That's what I would see him play. He would just play in the middle. So I just kind of classified him as a just a central midfielder, right? But I didn't. Yeah, so okay, I didn't know that they played him a little bit more up in an advanced role, at Wolves. When he's with do they still call them Wolverhampton Wolves? Hopefully they still call them. Anyways, like I said, I don't follow the Premier League like that. I've been trying to follow it more because usually I watch La Liga and um the French league. And people might not understand why I do that, but it's just the French league. All of the best stars, basically all of your favorite stars, or all of your favorite future stars are developed in the French academies. And you can tell, and it's really easy to tell who's going to become a star or not when you're talking about the French league. It's pretty easy. like when like I remember seeing Hazard in 2009 or 2010, and him as like an 18, 17-year-old, 19-year-old coming up, and he was already roasting like roasting the wingbacks, roasting the opposition at such a young age. Like I just remember seeing him. I'm like, who is this guy? And when you're dealing with the reason why Messi, because people talk about how French league is a weak league, they just don't watch it. There's a reason why Messi wasn't able to just score at will like he was in the Spanish league. No disrespect, but he struggled to score. Now he did lead in assists, I think, in his first year when he was with PSG, but he couldn't just score at will like he could. The reason why is in the French league, you're dealing with like African defenders. You're dealing with let's keep it above. You're dealing with African defenders. You're dealing with very physical wingbacks. Physical, very physical wingbacks. So if you see a winger that's just killing it in the French league, you have to take note of that because you're dealing with wingbacks that can just that they're physical, they're strong, and they're fast. You're dealing with you're not dealing with easy people to beat on that wingback position. Like Doku is having an easier time. I don't think people realize when Doku is having an easier time with the wingbacks in the Premier League than he was when he was in Belgium, believe it or not. Right? Yes, South Holland says France develops them the best. Yeah, they don't like people don't realize, the development stage, and England doesn't really produce the best talent. They might buy the best youth talent. They buy a lot of these players on pennies of the dollar, and then they'll say, "Oh, this league is trash," but then they'll go to to the said league that's trash and then buy them for pennies of the dollar and act like and they'll take and they'll take credit. Man, Pyro, man, shout out to you, man. Yeah, yeah. It's been a minute. It's been a minute, but I believe I had to do this live because this is an emergency. Because what's happening to Travis Hunter is crazy. Because everybody is like screaming at him like that the train wreck is coming, but he's just completely in denial. And we need to have an emergency meeting for these dudes. Like this dude needs an intervention. Now, I want you to see this comment right here from August Max. He said, "I have never seen a dollar symbol on a wedding ring finger. Interesting. It makes you think." I mean, talk about a huge red flag. This is a reason why I have this picture right here. There's a reason why I have this picture. On her ring finger is a dollar. Where the ring finger is supposed to be is a dollar sign. Many people have pointed this out. Many people have pointed this out. And and this is also why I'm covering this. Because I've been seeing a whole lot of hypocrisy on social media these past 2 to 3 weeks. Because when I see the hypocrisy of certain things, it discourages me. And I'm not saying it discourages me from posting, but it really it unmotivates me, if that makes sense. Meaning, I think a lot of these dudes, particularly, and we're gonna have to call out ninjas here because I've said this for a while. We like to talk about how women have their preferences and how women ignore red flags on the guys that they like being with, right? Or they want to be with. But I see men do the same thing. But let me call out specifically black men, and specifically black men that will say, "Oh, I can't be with black women because they treat me like this or they do this." Just for them to go to another race of women and you're dating just the Spanish version of the black chicks that you're trying to avoid. This gets on my nerves to the highest. Like this gets on my nerves to like the highest degree. It's particularly when black men do this, where they'll say, "Oh man, black women they did this to me and blah blah blah." But then you switch race of woman, and which is fine. I like me. I don't care. I always tell people it doesn't matter what race you pick, but you end up dating the Spanish version of ghetto. So you be like, okay, I don't want to deal with black women because they're ghetto and they do things out of pocket and they don't know decorum and blah blah blah. Just for you to date a Latina girl with no decorum, no respect, and is a loudmouth. You might as well should have just dated. you might as well should have just dated a woman that looks like you and just deal with the same thing. Because I don't let me not find out. Let me not find out that Travis Hunter is like, oh man, I can't be with black women and stuff like that. But you're gonna marry you're about to marry a woman that's clearly gonna ruin your life, and not ruin your life like privately, like say like a Caucasian woman would, but you're gonna marry somebody that's publicly humiliating you, publicly making you look crazy. It, you, you're about to marry a Spanish straggle. You're about to knock up a Spanish straggle chick. And then I remember there was a video. I forgot what specific video, but oh yeah, it was the video. Let me see if I can pull up that specific video for you. This was the last day. Travis Hunter girlfriend upset. Let me see if I can pull up that video when it was the last day, when it was like it was senior night, and she was up she was upset on the field. Let me see if I can bring up that video for you guys. Yeah, but let me bring that up. Let me bring that up for you. Let me bring that up for you. Because this is nonsense. I cannot believe this. So let me show you the video real quick. Let me take this overlay off, right? So right here, I could not believe this. This was the video right here. Easy, like he's leaning in for a kiss, and she's sitting there upset for I don't know what reason. They're saying that she was upset that he was smiling at cheerleaders or whatever, and everything that she got on looks expensive as hell. And I already know she ain't buy that. He bought that. And she wants to make a scene at the end of the game when the cameras are on. And you know what I saw in some of these comment sections? Oh, that's just how Latina girls are. Don't worry about what? I could not believe this stuff. You should have seen the comments though. Like I don't know if it was because I just found this video, right? But you should have seen the comments, bro. I was so upset. I was like, oh, that's just how Latina girls are. They're just crazy. What? No, no. Bad behavior is bad behavior. If a black woman did this, we would be ripping her. We can't be doing this now. This is where I draw the line right here. Bad behavior is bad behavior. I don't look. I'd have been with all types of broads, bro. Bad behavior is bad behavior. Shout out to Pyro. He said this is just another Tyrese effect. Oh, speaking of which, Pyro said this woman is going to take him from everything he has. Of course, everybody can see it. Everybody can see this except for Travis. But guys like Travis, he's a goofy. But he's just gonna have to learn the hard way. Like there's no because like I remember somebody like it was the OGs telling him like yo chick that ain't it, bro. And he clapped back. I think it was at comedian Godfrey, and I have the video for that as well. And they're literally trying to tell Trap like, bro, this ain't it. But remember what I told you guys. Hold on. To Pyro's pro- point, the Tyrese effect, right? Remember what I told you. Remember I told you black men's real true preference. This is black men's true preference. Because people like to make jokes about, black men being with, obese white women. And there's something to that. I'm not saying there's nothing to that, but people don't understand when you see a black man with a chubby white chick, right? Or an obese white woman, especially like if he's over 18. Like I'm talking about if the black dude is over if the black man is over 18 years old and you see him out in public with a overweight white chick, 9 times out of 10 he's with her because he's broke. 9 times out of 10. So it's just, and then you have dudes that will fetishize over that, but the reality of the situation is the guy is broke. When the black dude gets on his feet, he goes after women like you see in this picture. The girl that Tyrese got and the one that's taking everything from him right now, Samantha Lee Gibson, right? Samantha Lee. Those are the those are the girls that particularly darker skinned men, not just I'm talking about not just the average black dude. I'm talking about particularly darker skinned males. They go after chicks that look like that. Those chicks that you don't know if she's Latina, you don't really know if she's Albanian. She you don't know if she's just white with mixed with Latino. You don't like those really fair skinned women that you don't even know what race she is. She can identify as what she wants because she's that fair skinned. Those are the type of girls that particularly dark skinned men go after when they get on their feet, or if they're an athlete, right? If they have some clout to them, those are the girls that they go after, or a very light skinned chick. That's dark skinned men's preference. And I've been trying to tell people this for the longest, and now people are looking this play out. And when it comes to chicks like that, dark skinned dudes will do anything for chicks that look like that. I'm talking about anything. And it doesn't matter if that light skinned chick or that fair skinned chick is chubby or not. They will do anything. I'm talking about anything for that chick. So, like I keep telling you, when you see dark skinned dudes or black dudes in general with a chubby white woman, it's because he's broke. Trust me. 9 times out of 10. So I keep telling you, this is the preference. And now Pyro mentioned the Tyrese effect. What's the difference between that and this? That and this. No difference. I keep telling you. No difference. No difference. No difference. I keep telling you, when particularly dark skinned men, when they get on their feet or they have a little bit of clout to them, those are the girls that they go after. Not even, I can't even say people, because people will just say white girls too, and yeah, that's true. But I'm talking about chicks like this. I'm talking about they'll get lost in the sauce with chicks like, I'm talking about they'll be falling in love with chicks like this. Like I'm talking about in love, falling in love with chicks like this. Like literally head over heels for chicks like this. I try to tell you guys that's the recipe right there. So shout out to Pyro for bringing up that point, because I remember trying to tell you guys those are the girls, because trust me, like it'll be like if you see a black dude with a fat white chick, whatever, but let him get on his feet, he's gonna leave that fat white chick for an exotic looking, quote unquote, fair skinned or light skinned woman, where you're not even gonna know what kind of race she is. That's the type of broads that dark skinned men go for when they get on their feet. Try to tell you. South Holland says, even at the Heisman when he was hugging people, I heard him tell her tell her he loves and but didn't hear her say anything. Yeah, I saw that. And yeah, everybody sees this coming, but men have to learn the hard way. Men are gonna have to learn the hard way. Yeah, she literally said he wasn't her type. Yep, yep, yep. Yep, yep. I don't know if I have that video lined up. Oh yeah, but I do have that video lined up as well with Godfrey talking about this stuff. Yep, I have that lined up. Pyro says they make excuses for all the other colors of women. The pro blacks were right on that. I had to give them that. Yeah, you. It's crazy the excuses, particularly black men, will make for Latino women is a wild work. It's absolute wild work that the excuses I would see black men make for Latino women's acting toxic in their lives, but then they're gonna turn around and say what black women are not. Come on, man. This is where I draw the line. So right here, look, hold on. He said they need to leave the light skin 304s alone. Look, man, I always say this: self hate is a real thing amongst all races, mind you, but self hate is a real thing. It is a real thing, and it will manifest through your dating. Trust me on this. It will manifest through your dating. Because if you're really looking for something new, wouldn't you marry or go after a girl that's really just like the opposite, right? So if you're, what's the point if you're a black dude and you're saying, I want to try something different? I want to try a different race of women, right? But then you end up just marrying a trailer park trash woman with no education, doesn't know how to act, talking back to you in public. Is what's the point of doing that? Like if I like, and I'm talking about this. This goes for black men, black women, because I see black women do the same thing. Oh, I'm gonna go for a different race of dude. Black men ain't doing this, and then they either get a white dude that's goofy as hell that be trying to be doing these dance moves, or they get a regular white dude and then they try to make the dude they try to do a makeover on the dude instead of accepting him for who he is. They try to make him over into a John B or a Travis Kelsey type. And this is where I'm like, but weren't you try to leave that? This is where I'm like, I am confusion. This is where I'm like, I am confusion. This is what black people do, dog. And you'll just be like, what in the and I can only speak for black people, right? On that end. So I don't want to, speak on white people, and if they struggle with the self hate and all this stuff, but I will see black women and black men do this. But let's talk about black women on that. Let's repeat that. But I will see black women. They get one or two or three types. Basically, some tall, lanky, skinny white dude that be doing dances that can dance, that be trying to do these dances, or they get like a white dude, whatever, and then they try to make him over. They try to do a makeover on the dude, and then they'll say this is the black wife effect or the black girlfriend effect. I'm like, why couldn't you accept him for who he is? And then they try to make him over into a Travis Kelsey or a John B type, which is two white dudes who I like personally though, but mind you. But I'm just saying, It's like it's very confusing. And then you'll have black dudes. They will say, "I'm leaving black women. They're fat, obnoxious, annoying, loud," and then they will leave that, and then they will get a fat, obnoxious Latina woman or a thick Latina girl that's loud, annoying, and be threatening to kill them. And you're just like, and then I'll just be like, "Whoa, time out! I thought you left black women because of that." It just it boggles my mind. To me, that's self hate. That's self hate. Because and as I see, particularly how when I see black people date, or if I just seeing people date in general, it's clear. O'Shea Duke Jackson, he did have a quote where I do agree with him. He says, "Wherever you go, there you are." So whatever insecurities that you're dealing with, whatever you think I'm this and that, but you're really hiding it under machismo or whatever you're hiding your insecurities over, it's going to show up in your dating or whatever it's going to show up. So whatever you that inner work, you need to be really genuine about yourself and what you want. You really got to be genuine about what you want and whatever, right? Because it's gonna show up. It's gonna show up. Truth Hunter said, "Simps desperate arm sleeves, LV shit, trailer park trash. That's literally ghetto people. Yeah, they don't even understand. They don't even get it. Or I'll say like a lot of Americans or American men are very uneducated when it comes to women overseas. Oh, shout out to Educated Tyrone, perfect person to actually reference. Educated Tyrone. I don't know if you. Oh no no. Like, put your link to your channel in the private chat, and I will copy and paste it. I forgot because I have no mods. But Educated Tyrone, he has his own channel, if I'm not mistaken. I hope I'm getting the right person. But yeah, he has his own channel, and he talks about how you'll have black dudes still simping over different races of women, and they don't even understand how the different races of women operate. Or you'll see, or let me say this. I have noticed how hard, like, I have noticed, how about this? Because American men are funny. American men are funny. Like, I have seen this phenomenon with black men dating Asian women, where you'll have black men dating Asian women. And do you know who will be mad the most about this? White men. You're just like, what? That make like people might disagree with me when I say this, but I understand when it's like, I understand why like white dudes would be insecure if they see another race of men dating their woman. Or if you're a black man, you see another race dating your woman, right? And so forth and so on. And there's insecurity to that. I get, trust, actually I get it. I actually completely get it, and I don't even rip them for it, even though that has gone way too far in the past. I actually don't. There's a level of empathy that I do have for that. Trust me, I do. And it might sound weird and hating, but I actually do have an empathy for that. But this thing that I've been seeing on Twitter, where it'll be like a black dude with an Asian broad, and then you know who'll be mad the most? It'll be white dudes. I'm like, what? I'm like, that's not even your hoes. Those are not even your hoes. I'm talking about it's white dudes angrier than the Asian dudes when they see like a black dude with an Asian broad. and the Asian broad won't even be that bad. Like she won't even. It'll be like an average Asian broad, and you'll have white dudes talking about uh 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 uh, uh, uh single mom statistics and all this shit. This I'm like this stuff is getting weird, man. Yeah, like American dudes, they're not like the more that I'm diving into this stuff, I'm like, do we really want to make things right, or do we just want a pure advantage with no with no counter? Let me see. Truth Hunter said females with arm sleeves makes me sick. Oh yeah, he said screams trashy trailer park circus freak. And this is another thing. So you say you don't date black women because they don't do this and blah blah blah. But here you have a Latina woman here, or I don't know what she's mixed with, but she's got to be Latina, right? Full tattoo arm sleeve. I remember somebody said this on Twitter. I forgot what his name is, but he said like these. He said these broads are pirates, swearing, being loud in public, tattoos up the yin yang, drugged up. These hoes is pirates. Educated Tyrone said, I swear every time you go live, I assume it's an upload, so I don't click until later. Not because I made this live last minute. I made it so I created the live at 9 p.m. because I figured um most of the people are going to be talking about false allegations and false accusations, and we can go into that, but that's not a major emergency. There's a reason why I didn't cover the Jay-Z story until because even because I had to be responsible because I knew I told you guys it like a couple months ago. I said Jay-Z's next, but even with that information, I knew I had to be responsible and let everything play out first before I go and jump to conclusions. Because even the people I don't mess with, and I don't mess with Jay-Z at all. I think he's dirty. I think he's dirty. But even with him, I'm like, let the facts come out first before I make a judgment. I said, let me let the facts. Let's let's relax before we rush into to judgment. Because I'm like, I don't even know who this 304 is. Talk about she was 13 at a Diddy backstage at Diddy concert. Talk about she didn't know what was finna happen. Well, man, if she will get this autistic this autistic ass 304 the F out of here, man. Yeah, this the reason why yeah, the only time you guys get a notification it looks like is if I do like if I pre-plan the show like days in advance for some weird reason. I don't know why that it does that, you know. Because as soon as Corey Holcomb makes his thing, I get a notification right away. And even then, because I'll have the notification button on, and like, oh no, because I'll even I don't know if you saw Ainsley in the chat, my guy. He said like, look, even when I do the early live streams, he said I still don't get notifications, and I even have the notification button up. So because so content like ours, it's gonna be suppressed. It's just gonna be suppressed, right? Yeah, even like so with this particular situation with Travis Hunter and this broad, I don't even know what her name is. I don't even feel like I should know her name. But even the normies, you know what I mean? But everybody see this thing. Let me see. Educate Tyrone said even normies are aware of Brad's entitlement to Asian chicks. Yeah, like yeah. I don't want to go because people be getting their feelings hurt. Because that makes no sense to me. Like I'll be on Twitter and it'll be like a black dude with a Asian chick, and the most hate comments they're getting is from white dudes, and I'm just thinking, in my practical mind, okay, you're probably gonna see Asian dudes hating. Nope, it's all white dudes. I'm sitting there like, what? How does that? I'm like, that don't make no sense. Imagine if it was like, imagine if it's a white girl with an Asian dude, and you see black dudes talking about, oh, you with the wrong partner. Like what? That's wild. That's wild. And I'm not saying that's never happened. I'm pretty sure that's happened and I missed it, you know. But like, yeah, okay. So shout out to Truth Hunter. He said, "Yo, if they want an Asian, then go at them. It's not that hard." Yeah, that's what I was about to say. And still, white dudes are still the number one preference amongst dating apps. Or if you talk to the average Asian chick, I'm pretty sure white dudes is finishing number one, and if not number one, then number two. But yeah, yeah. So like, I don't understand that. I really I don't understand that. So Pyro said, "Wait, what? White dudes?" He said, "White dudes get salty when Asian chicks get with ninjas." Yes, I had to. I don't know if I told you that story about what happened in my hometown, but there was this dude dating this Asian chick. I don't know if she was Japanese or Chinese. I don't I don't I don't remember. She might have been Vietnamese, but I'm gonna go on the safe. I'm gonna go on the safe side. I think she was Vietnamese, right? They went to a movies to get to a movie together, and these guys were heckled out of the movie theater by white dudes. Now, I thought that was a very weird story at the time. I was in high school at the time when this happened. The couple was older than me, and obviously they're not together anymore. But I'm like, so white dudes was heckling them out of the theater. What in the hell? So I just found that weird. But and I already told you that story personal to me when I was on college, and there was this Asian chick I was asking for directions because I knew her from high school, and then her coming back giggling to me like, "Oh, did you?" She comes back. She's like, "Oh, they asked if we knew each other." I'm like, "Who?" And I'm like, "What?" And then she pointed them out. She's like, "So why did they want to know?" I don't know. They thought we were going out, and she was laughing because of just off the attention that she was getting. But I was like, it was like two white dudes, and I was like, "What?" So why? Okay. And then, but I just ignored it. But yeah, there's like Brads have a serious entitlement. There's a segment of Brads that have a serious entitlement issue when it comes to Asian chicks, which makes no sense at all. They're not your girl. It's like that makes no sense. That has never made sense to me. That has never made sense to me. Let me see. Yeah, Truth Hunter said, yeah, Pyro, mostly the ones who are not smooth talkers or weebs. But even though I've seen even the dweebs can bag a Asian chick, so it's got to be it's to me it's a very loud minority of white dudes that have a serious entitlement issues to Asian chicks, which makes no sense to me. But it's got to be a very small amount because I've seen nerds and dudes that you would even think can pull, and I've seen them with Asian chicks. So uh, I don't know. That I don't know. You know what I mean? But that makes no sense to me though. It's one thing if it's like because you already know, like you'll see like the Instagram couples, it'll be like a black dude and a white girl, and then it's like all white dudes, talking about crime statistics and and to black people might disagree with me, but you got to understand, like, it's a white dudes won't admit it, but they love their chicks. Like they have a vested interest in their own race of chicks in a different type of way, and I get it. And I actually get it. But this whole thing with the Asian chicks, and then you see mostly white dudes commenting hate stuff. I'm like, what? You know, that's something that I've never gotten. That's just weird. That to me is weirdo behavior. Educated Tyrone says, "Yo, Chris, the last episode of Pop the Balloon, the women were actually cute and not that harsh." Oh, you actually follow the channel? I just be watching some of the clips, and I just be nah. Like, yeah, nah. Educated Tyrone also says they got more matches than not matches for the first time in the show's history, to my knowledge. Well, you know, what people don't understand, the people that are ruining the dating market are the sixes and the fives. It's the woman like Travis Hunter's girl who's like a five and sixes. Those are the ones that are ruining the dating market. It's not necessarily the eights, nines, and tens, because the nines they're just nines. The nines and tens, they're nines and tens. It is what it is. It's not really them ruining the market because they just exist and men are just gonna do whatever they want. It's really the sixes, the fives, the adjustable sixes, right? I don't know who came. I think Kevin Samuels came up with that term, but I think he took it from somebody else. But since that term is out there, the adjustable sixes, right? Those are the ones ruining the dating market. Those are the ones that are causing really the heartbreaks out here. Nobody came to this space because a 10 broke their heart. Like that's oh shoot. I gave myself a cramp laughing. Oh man. I gave myself a back cramp laughing at that. But it's not the tens, because if a 10 moves on, it's like she a 10. It is what it is. Triana C said, "Let Travis improve on his gene pool." You think she's improving his gene? No disrespect to the chick. No disrespect to the chick, but you think, like, are we seeing the same picture that I am? Like, she's improving, and then how is she improving his genes? She's decreasing his genes. Travis Hunter is an athletic freak. He plays DB. He plays offense and defense. Hold on for a second. Let me. I don't think people understand what Travis Hunter is, man. Like, this is the Heisman winner. His genes are already super. He's a super freak already. The only way he could improve on his genes is if he gets a girl that's over. First of all, he needs to get a girl that's like over 5'10", right? And has tall men in her family. So that's most likely probably going to have to be a white chick, or he's going to have to marry a black chick that's like built like Serena Williams. That's the only way that he could improve on his genes per se. I don't know if you mean his face, but that doesn't matter for men really. He can get any bitch this dude's a super freak. Travis Hunter is a super freak. She's actually ruining his gene pool, because there's no way she's over the height of five. She can't be no more than 5'2", 5'3". She's ruining his genes. You see, and probably, you know what, Triana, I don't know who you are. Triana C, I don't know who you are, but it's that feminine mindset like that, because you're just focused on Travis's face. You're just focused on the facial structure, even though I don't see anything wrong with his facial structure. But I'm looking at Travis Hunter as the total package. Pause. This guy is a Heisman winner. His genes don't need to be improved. You're just focused on because you're not into his facial structure. Because trust me, there's a lot of other different types of women, of different races, of different countries, of different backgrounds with way better genes than her that want Travis Hunter's genes. But because we live in America, you might think that, and because we've been Americanized, maybe Travis Hunter has that same mindset that you have, Triana. that he Travis Hunter might have that same mindset that you have, but if Travis Hunter actually had a mindset of empowerment, real empowerment, there was no way he would choose her to improve his genes because she's decreasing his genes, believe it or not. But that's a different kind of mindset. She's actually I don't know what's the opposite of improving. Oh man. That's what I was about to say. She's decreasing his genes. Improve his gene for what? What do like like yeah, yeah, Americans. I'm talking about Americans in general. I'm talking about black, white. Americans are messed up mentally. How is she improving? How is she improving his genes? This dude's a Heisman winner. What the fuck you talking yeah, it's yo. Shout out to Truth Hunter. Hold on for a sec. So Truth Hunter right here. He says, "Pyro, I called a woman ugly a few days ago who was insulting a guy and saying she's above him look wise. Do you know how many times I've seen that in real life, where the broads will be talking down on a dude like she's above him and she's below average, and the guy's actually average." The guy just doesn't have a like. I remember it'll be girls that I know will talk down on the dude, and I know the dude is like a monster, like athletically. I'm like you do know he like if you marry that guy and you had kids with him, you would be having elite babies. But they're just looking at him. He's he looks at like a Neanderthal and blah blah. I'm like, he'd be improving your genes. But no, you're gonna go for Pookie or Ray Ray, and you don't even realize Pookie might be related to you because you their mom was share their moms and their friends were all sharing one man. So yeah, that mentality. That mentality is it's wild. Yeah, the yellow fever entitlement. That's what he's talking about, the Asian stuff I was talking about. But that let me bring up that comment again. I don't how is she I can't believe because whoever Triana is, this that's got to be a woman. I don't know if she's just looking. First of all, Triana, you better not be a black woman saying this stuff. All this stuff about you'll see like black women on Twitter talking about, oh, black men are suffering from they don't date black women because of self-hate, and then here you are on this channel talk about Travis need to improve his genes, and clearly you're talking about his face because you don't prefer his face. You don't. Right? Do you know how many like especially when you talk about like a lot of soccer players, these I'm talking about these new soccer players. Do you know how many like Caucasian women, Norwegian women, Swedish women was, or German women ran? to get, impregnated by these African footballers so they can have their own type of athletic son. You know what I mean? Like, and you see the results of it today. You look at Mbappe. You look at Jude Bellingham, white dad, black mom. His dad was a former police officer and a former professional footballer. These are people that like are looking at it as like, okay, let me improve my gene pool. And even though Bellingham's Caucasian dad might look a certain way face wise, if you don't prefer that or blah blah blah, Jude Bellingham's mom was like, I need his genes because he's 6'2", 6'3", whatever. He's a tall soccer player that can run. Mixed with me, with my black woman genes. Let's see what comes out of it. And what comes out of it is a fair-skinned black dude, tall, handsome product. Because she realizes he's improving my gene pool, no matter if he's from a different race or not. This whole thing, this thing with Americans and where like, or it'll be like because the dude doesn't have a certain color of eyes. So I'm talking about this guy is a Heisman winner. This guy is a super freak athlete. And you think this chick, this little ting here, right, is improving his gene pool? Where do you do that at? What? Hold on. Like that's wild. Let me see. Educate Tyrone says having kids with a mid Latina is pointless when you're rich. She doesn't actually look like how she looks on Instagram. Well, really, if Travis Hunter was smart, what I see, what I see, what I see some black basketball players do, what they do is they be looking for Caucasian, tall ish volleyball players. So what you'll see like, uh, what's his name? I'm blanking on the guy's name. The tall guard for the Denver Nuggets. I'm blanking on his name. He's dating, I don't know if he's married to her, but he's dating a volleyball player, right? A taller-ish volleyball player. Or you see like Adebayo, right? Is that his name? The Miami Heat center, him going out with AJ Wilson, right? She's like 6'7", 6'8". He's 6'8". That makes sense. They match. And not only that, they're improving each other's gene pool per se. So when they mate, they're gonna have a kid, and that kid is gonna be a freak. So that's more of a mutual type of thing, right? Or you'll see, or you'll see this a lot. You'll see a soccer athlete, or it happens in Europe all the time, you'll see some people are smart. You'll see a track athlete and they'll go out with another athlete, right? Or if you see a black athlete and if they want to quote unquote improve their gene pool, they'll make sure they have a baby with another athlete, right? That's what Cristiano Ronaldo did. He was like, okay, I need a surrogate, but let me select the type of woman it is, and he made sure he selected a female athlete. You know what I mean? So that's if you actually want to do it talks about improving the gene pool. like I I don't know. I don't know what they talking about. Let me see. Truth Hunter says, "Yo, they all don't want to be average and be tens, but that still makes them average." Said without makeup, she's like a 4.5 in the face, and her body might bring her up to a 5. Her body's average, dog. Like it's no disrespect. Hold on. Let's see. Travis Hunter girlfriend Leanna Lene. That's her name, right? Leanna. Dude, her body average, dog. No disrespect. No disrespect. Her body average, dog. She's not because she's not even an athlete. Well, people don't. Well, okay, got like. Hold on. Let me see if I can get like a full body shot of her. Let me see if I can get a full body shot of her. This is okay. No, that's a Facebook photo. I need like I don't know if I can get like a full body shot of her. But she's super average, dog. She's super like that's an average like she because at what I don't know how old she is. Let me because I want to prove a point because people don't understand like those old church ladies, those old ladies that you see at church or brunch, they used to look like that when they were in their 20s. People don't understand. They don't even understand. She not even no athlete. She don't work out. But when girls are at that age, their body is basically already snatched. As long as they're not eating like a freaking pig, they can achieve the body that she has because their hormones have their body in a different way where their fat deposits in all the spots which attracts men. Let me see if I can open image new tab. Let me see if I can save the photo. I'm gonna save the photo and I'm gonna open it up. Oh nope. Let me not do that. So I don't know if you see like this. Her body's average, dog. And people don't understand because she's Latina. She's of a certain height. She's I don't know how old she is. Cause I don't know. Like okay, yep, she's 23 years old. So look, the average Latina woman that's not fat is gonna look like that. Let's keep it about like the average Latina woman that's not fat, they're going to look like this. Like I know, dude, I work with so many broads that look like this, man. What are we talking about? She that bitch, like, yo, she and hold on. Let me take the overlay off. Let me take the overlay off. I'm about to show you something real quick. Let me take the overlay off. So I don't know if you can see the picture clearly, but this is like the average Latina woman. She will like she's gonna look like this. Like the average Latina woman that's not fat is going to look something like this. Average tatas, average behind, but she's gonna be shaped in a way that's still snatched in a way. As long as she's not eating like a pig, she stays relatively fit because I can like Lene, that's her name, Lene, I think, or Leanna. She's not like some avid gym goer. So if she just stays kind of fit, kind of, she's gonna look like this. And as long as she doesn't have any kids, she's gonna stay looking like this. Right? That's basically how the average Latina woman will look. if she just stays relatively fit, like relatively. That's kind of what she's gonna look like. That's it's as average as you can get. No disrespect, but that's. And I'm not trying to I've worked with so many women that look like that. There's actually look better than her. I work with some like dude, I'm working with that's the base exactly. Shout out to Truth Hunter. He said that's the basic model Latina look. That's the prototype Latina. It's going to look like Leanna. Nothing really special. It's just she's gonna look and of course like if you drop like if she worked at Home Depot, right? Like if she worked at Home Depot, obviously yeah she's gonna be dudes is gonna be all over her. But really, if you place her in a population in a college, she's not gonna stand out. Like if you place her in a college, she won't stand out. You place her at a New Mexico State University, she ain't finna stand out. She go to any state university in New Mexico, she won't even stand out. What college has like a large Latina population, or just a large like Black and Latina population? She's not gonna stand out. You just drop her. She wouldn't like I know like man the average dude dude I'm working okay dude, I have a bandmate right now. I hope nobody from my band is listening to this. But I have this band that I joined. Like uh one of our singers is she has a girlfriend. Her girlfriend looks better than her, dog. What are you talking about? Yo, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? I hope she's not listening to my live stream. I hope she. I hope my bandmate not listening to the live stream. And I'm not trying to disrespect her broad too. But I'm talking about the one of the singers in my bands. Her girlfriend looks better than her, dog. What do we like this girl like Leanna? That's average. That is the prototype Latina woman that doesn't get fat. Before this is the average Latina that's what the average Latina like female janitor. You met those. They still got kind of have a snatch body, but they have like one kid. And you could tell they used to be snatched, but they had kids, so it kind of ruined it. That's basically gonna be Leanna. You know. Let me see. I missed a lot of chats. Let me see. Because it's every 1 to 10, they're still average. Let me see. David Claus said, anyone watch Hannah Hidalgo versus Eastern Michigan today? What are you talking about, bro? Who's Hannah Hidalgo? Let's see. Hannah Hill. Who is Hannah Hidalgo? Hannah Hill. Nah, I ain't watched that. So I guess that's a female basketball player. I have no idea who that is, dog. But at least you put me up on game on who she is. So if I ever hear her name again, I'm not gonna talk about her, but at least I'll know about her. Oh yeah, so yeah, Jamal Murray. That's who I was talking about. Jamal Murray. He has a volleyball chick, and I see a lot of dudes now. What they do is they go out with other like athletes go out with other athletes if they want to actually quote unquote improve their genes. But her improving Travis Hunter's genes, she's please, yuck, yuck. And yeah, that is true. Latinas, women, they don't ever stay fit. That that transformation, that SpongeBob transformation, it ends up coming for them all. Dude, also right now. I'm work like this is a spot that I'm working at. I'm talking about there's two MILFs, I will say, at my job. They look better than her. They're actually more snatched than her. Like Leanna, that's the average Latina woman. That is the average Latino. You can go to any Burger King or McDonald's, and the woman that is taking your order, they 8 times, I'll say 7 times out of 10, a girl her age that's working the register at McDonald's is gonna look better than her. 8 times out of 10. Facts. Truth Hunter said you could find a few at a grocery store while shopping. Literally. Like I had dude, when I was in middle school, I had a kind of a tight knit friend group. Even though I liked everybody in middle school, but like I had a very diverse friend group. I had like men and women and as my friends and stuff like that. That's stupid. That's stupid ish. But I had like two girls that were I considered my friends at the time. One, actually no, both because both of them at one point we ended up developing feelings. But both of them, I remember then, meeting them up later in life. One of them ended up becoming a single mom, and one of them is still doing well. Both of them right now, because I still, well, I don't keep it. I haven't spoke to them since my first year in college. Both of them right now, they look better than her. Both of them. So I don't, yeah, I don't. There's nothing there. But with guys like Travis Hunter, right? With guys like Travis Hunter, keep telling you, those are the broads that they go for. Look at Tyrese, the one that he's losing his mind over. Those are the broads they lose their mind over. Same type of chick. Same type of chick. No difference. No difference. No difference. No difference. You know? Let me show you something real quick. Let me show you how cold this game is, man. Let me show you Godfrey's response right here because, because the thing is when you're young, you just don't know. You know what I mean? You like it, like you don't understand that you got women out there that are out there trying to destroy you. You know what I mean? And if you're like an athlete like a Travis Hunter, you play a barbaric sport like football, right? He playing the DB position, playing the wide out position, being the master at both sides of the ball. You're not looking at a girl like this, right? And you're not thinking, oh, she's out. There's no way she's trying to compete with me. There's no way she's trying to make me miserable. That's life. That's life right there. Shout out to Reaper in the building. He said, let's all bow our heads. Hey, yeah, man. Hey, man. Oh, so David Claw said, I mentioned Hannah Hill Doggo because you got Caitlin Clark in your title, but all good. But stay tuned with that. I'm gonna talk about Caitlin Clark in a little bit because Caitlin Clark is the only reason why I even mention women's basketball. Let's not get it twisted. People like to no women's basketball. Look, man, I know like in Connecticut, people always follow, UConn women's basketball. And so that it might be a little bit different in my state, but for the most part, most people really they weren't really so like entranced with women's basketball until Caitlin Clark came along. No disrespect. No disrespect. And like I said, it's a little bit different in my state because I live in Connecticut because we got UConn with UConn women's basketball and they have a following. Like people will show up, you know what I mean, for UConn women's basketball. So that it's a little bit different in my state, just a little bit. So I'm not trying to dismiss that, but Hannah Hidalgo, whoever she is, props to her. Hopefully, I wish her nothing but success. But when you see some like, especially when you have content creators like me talking about Caitlin Clark, she's the headliner. We ain't we not finna we not talking about no, you know what I mean, no disrespect to whoever she is, Hannah Hidalgo. I'll look out for her. Hopefully she does well in life, but when we're gonna be talking about Caitlin Clark. That's it. And maybe some Angel Reese because she does because of her podcast. It makes it easy for my podcast. Oh, Reaper said she probably did some witchcraft and put period blood in his food. It's plausible. That's plausible. That's plausible. That's plausible. He did say that he was with her since high school and he is showing like Will Smith level of simpery. So that's plausible because I believe Jada, I believe Jada Pinkett's a witch. I definitely believe that. But yeah, what's her name? Leanna. I wouldn't put it above her to do something like that. I wouldn't put it above her because the way he's responding to her openly disrespecting him is very troubling to me. Right? Truth Hunter said athletes really need to have master classes on women. We have master classes. It's called Corey Holcomb, but they just think he's mean, or they just think, oh no, you just not that ninja, man. I'm that ninja. Because when you're dealing with athletes, they're they have such a high self-inflated, like just a highly inflated you know sense of self-worth. They really think they're unstoppable. They really think they're unbreakable. Like nothing can get at them. And women are just part of that. They just think, oh, everybody wants me. They're like they're too shout out to yeah. Truth Hunter said they're too blinded in their thirst to see that. Uh Oh yeah, but it is not. But it's not just so. So Pyro said, "Do these dudes who play sports know that they have the power to drop these 304s like a bag of bricks?" And Truth Hunter said they're blinded by their thirst, but it's more than that. It's just when because they're athletes and they just, you're talking about especially we talk about these 5-star recruits, because Travis Hunter was a 5-star recruit. If you're a 3-star, like dude, if you're a 2 or 3-star recruit, nationally ranked as a 2 or I'm talking about if you're a nationally ranked 3-star recruit, these guys have the biggest heads, paws, like you can't tell these guys nothing. But say a Travis Hunter that's 5-star recruit coming out of high school. This guy was so highly touted that when he decided to go to a HBCU, when he decided to go to Jackson State for his freshman year, right? Nick Saban and all them people had like a meeting, like, oh my God, we're losing. We can't be losing guys like Travis. I'm like, they having a whole meeting over one ninja. So you have a 5-star recruit coming out of high school, and everybody's telling you that you're great. Everybody wants to be a part of you. Everybody just wants to just be a part of you, be a part of your story. Everybody wants a piece of you. Even dude, if you're like even just being an athlete in high school and being mildly successful, you're already the man, especially if you're playing football or basketball. Now, let's take that. And then now you're a nationally ranked player. You're the number one 5-star athlete coming out of high school. What? So he's like, in his mind, there's no way she doesn't love me. In his mind. And he probably thinking, okay, I finally won her over. And during the time when he tried to holler at her, he probably felt like, hey, I'm a 3-star athlete. But then he's like, okay, let me be a 5-star athlete. And that she gotta love me then. That's how men will think like that. People need to, people want to talk about, Lionel Messi has a real relationship, right, with his childhood sweetheart, but people don't understand the background story of that. Like Messi's girl was going out with another guy during that time. They were just friends during that time. But when Messi turned 17 or 18 and his female friend that he was friends with for a long time, when she finally realized he was going to be the next big star in the world, she left the dude that she was with, who was, I think, Messi's friend at the time as well. She left a dude for Messi. And it took him having to be the best young player in the world of football for her to quote unquote, for Messi to quote unquote leave the friend zone. We've seen this before. We've seen this story before. We've seen this before. Look up Messi's girl and the real story behind that. It's not no love story. Messi was in the friend zone with that girl. And then it's only until he showed promise to become literally the best player in the world at such a young age. And then he conveniently left the friend zone. She finally, oh my God. Oh man. But anyway, let's listen to Godfrey. So right here, he had Godfrey had some words for Travis Hunter's girlfriend acting a certain way, and Travis Hunter, in pure simp mode, try to fire back at Godfrey. Now, mind you, Godfrey's like 50 something. He's like 52 or 53. So Godfrey is not no young comic. Like Godfrey's been around for a minute. He has, especially when it comes to comics. Comics are our modern day philosophers, our modern day truth tellers. Like these are the people that we actually look for truth, not like politicians or clergymen or counsel. It's really the comedians. A lot of the times we're looking for the philosophy and the truth and life lessons. The Bill Burrs of the world, right? The Corey Holcombs, the Patrice O'Neills, right? God rest his soul. So Godfrey is a guy not only with jokes but with knowledge. So if Godfrey has something to say, I would listen. But Travis Hunter, he's too much of a goofy, and he has too much pride, too much ego. So right here, you see Travis Hunter says, "You know her? No. So don't speak on my relationship, you old as hell. Move on with your life." Now, first of all, that's a very disrespectful thing to say to an OG. But this is how Godfrey's going to reply back to Travis Hunter. Fair use.
This message goes out to Travis Hunter. Listen, Travis, I just want you to be careful, man. Yeah, I said it. Be careful.
Oh, hold on for a second. Let me take the overlay off. I think. Oh no, the overlay's off. My bad, guys. Fair use again. My bad. Fair use.
This message goes out to Travis Hunter. Listen, Travis, I just want you to be careful, man. Yeah, I said it. Be careful. Congratulations on your engagement, but man, you might have to disengage because something about this woman, man. The way she was talking to, and she was talking like she was really that chick. Listen, you love who you love. Facts. Okay, I got that. That's all logical, but something ain't right. I just watched that dumb video of you guys in those matching pajamas. that bugged me. And she was like dogging you, going, "Yeah, he wasn't my type." I was like, he wasn't my type. It wasn't my type. And then we went to this party, and then we fell in love.
So that video right there, I don't have that video, but she was way too comfortable in saying that. Oh, he wasn't my type, and yeah, until you found out who he was. And there was probably a girl. No, you know what happened? It was probably another girl talking about him, and then she found out who he was, and she was like, "Oh shoot, let me stop being a, let me lock this in real quick. This ninja finna go to the NFL." Same thing with but people don't understand with Messi's story. One day I'm gonna go over Lionel Messi and his story with his now wife. Like people don't understand how this game work, man. Oh, she had faith in him. Yeah, yeah, you have faith in a 5-star. 5-star athlete. Oh yeah, I started with him when he wasn't known, and this dude was a 5-star athlete coming out of high school. Please.
I think personally, I don't know when y'all dated, was high school. I don't give a fuck. But when she found out your stats, bro, that's when I think she's like, "Oh, I love him. I love him." I don't know what she is. She's like Indian looking, Latino looking with a sprinkle of Ebonics. I don't fucking know what she is. But one thing I do know, you need to watch your ass, bro. I'm so serious, man. I just something ain't right. And I'm sure people agree with me right now. They're agreeing with me. Don't get sucked into this shit, bro. You better sign all kinds of fucking papers, man. All right? You better have a.
And I want to give a shout out to Truth Hunter. He says, "Women are like a moth, and his success was a lighted lamppost." Well said, man. Well said. People don't, man, like I don't want to bring up my real life example because there was a time where I was that ninja, and then life happened, and then I wasn't that ninja no more, and I didn't get the same type of uh uh the same type of um shoot attention from women when my fall from grace started. So people don't understand. It's just when you're successful, oh my God, there's something about you. Yo, it's crazy work, man. It's crazy, man. I don't know how to explain it, man. I don't know how to explain it. I'm looking, low key, I'm still looking for the girls. Like during that time when I had nothing to offer, I still had like a couple of girls that liked me at that time. That was really my chance. Whether I knew it or not, that was my chance to quote unquote have something serious. When you have really nothing to offer, you know what I mean? That's how you know it's genuine. But that's a whole other story. Let me continue this video. Let me continue this video.
Have an ironclad fucking contract because something ain't right. I didn't like that video. He wasn't my type. Remember, you wasn't my type. But when you're successful, you everybody's fucking type. You know what I mean? All of a sudden they find out your potential. Now you everybody's type. Be careful with that shit, bro. I'm just saying. I hope Coach Dion is helping him out. Like, hey, you gotta be what you gotta do. What you gotta do. You know, I can't tell you what to do. You just gotta have confidence in what you're doing. And I bless you, bless God, and just be careful to believe.
Godfrey got Deion Sanders spot on. Deion Sanders does sound exactly like that. I also, you guys got to see the Deion Sanders. Sorry, his Deion Sanders son Shiloh, the DB. when he impersonated his dad, he'd be spot on because first of all he already sounds like his dad, but Shiloh got his dad spot on when he does his dad's an impersonation of his dad.
I just didn't like what she said. She said, "I'm not your type." Just, yeah, I think you should have let the bitch go. That's what I mean, I didn't mean to curse, but I'm just saying, it is what it is. But Travis, your last name is Hunter, bro. You might have to go hunting real soon, bro. Whew. Go Buffaloes.
Yo, shout out to comedian Godfrey. I have a lot of respect for Godfrey right here. You know, like Travis, bro. You come on, man. Come on, bro. Come on, man. Like Corey Holcomb said in the 2020 draft, when CeeDee Lamb's girlfriend at the time was acting a plump fool, Corey Holcomb told CeeDee Lamb, he said, "You need to shake that weight." Travis Hunter, shake that weight, bro. I don't know. I don't know if I hope he doesn't have kids by her. I don't know if somebody can educate me in the chat. Does Travis Hunter has kids by her? Does he have a kid by her? Hopefully he doesn't, because it's not, if he doesn't have kids by her, it's not too late. But home, if he can do it, shake that weight, man. Shake that weight, bro. Shake that weight, bro. And I forgot who said in the comments, they said they need to have a master class on for athletes. We already have it. It's this space, the RP space, the manosphere, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it. We've had comedians for years give master classes. We have Corey Holcomb has he gives master classes basically every Tuesday. But people don't want to give him his credit because, oh, he's too quote unquote ghetto, or he says things in a certain way. No. Homie, I've lived in the hood. I live in regular spot. I live in the suburbs. I've been to all types of schools. Corey Holcomb is spot on, damn near plus 90% of the time. Patrice O'Neal, spot on, basically all the time. Bill Burr, spot on. Trust me on this, man. We've had people giving master classes, but people just don't. They like men. They men have, like Travis. He's just gonna have to learn the hard way, and I really hope he don't have no kids by this woman. You know. Oh, I saw that video. He's like, that's like when Tyrese, when his girl was touching his head when she wanted Paul Walker. Yeah, the black chick that he's with right now. Saying that she preferred Paul Walker. Oh my God. I saw that video. I was like, oh my God. I'm like Tyrese just can't win with women, bro. Like I always tell people, don't be afraid. I was talking to there's this young artist that I'm working with, and I think I'm just gonna have to take him under my wing for certain things, because we was riding to rehearsal, and I should have, for the performance that I had today, I should have given him a ride, because anyway, that's another story. But anyways, I should have given him a ride today to make sure his head was right. But anyways, I think he's the first person. I'm sorry. I think I'm the first person to give it to him real when I was talking about broads, because I was in the car. Because because I think a lot of dudes, they just be lying when they talk about how they are with women. I think too many people. I think dudes are just used to just women, just dudes just lying about how they are with women, because I so like I just and it was interesting because people around the band, they'll just ask me, like they'll be curious because they don't know about this page, so they'll ask me like, oh, like two dudes will ask me like, oh yeah, how are you with the women, what about the women in your life, Chris, and all this stuff. So bro asked me yesterday, so how is it with the female persuasion in your life? And I straight up told him, he said, oh, there's nothing there. I told him, nah, that's just not a strong suit. I just straight up told him, yeah, women are just not they're just not really important to me right now. They're just not a strong suit. I legit told him, I said, oh yeah, they're just, yeah, there's nothing. I told him straight up, there's nothing. And he was just shocked. He was just like, Oh shoot. And you know what's interesting, when I was honest about what it is, because I'll tell you, I'm like, oh yeah, there's really nothing there. There's not much success stories for me on that front, right? So he I could tell he was holding in his own stories, because he was like, huh. It's like almost like he breathed a sigh of relief, and he started opening up about how the girls in his life, and how that this didn't work out, that didn't work out, and how he messed up because he remembers starting a band himself, and then he was dating one girl in the band, and then he broke up with the one girl, and then he had another girl join the band, and he was going out with that girl, and then his ex found out that he was going out with this new girl, and the new girl found out, and I'm like, oh my god. And he's like, he opened up, and it's almost like he opened up for the first time about how the women in his life are, how it's really actually like. And I had to, just give him some advice, just like, look, you can't put all your energy and your time into that. You can't, because right now you're in your 20s, right now you're in your early 20s, you're in school, you're doing your music, but at the same time you're doing this, you got your job. Just focus on that right now. And I'm not saying don't hang out with women, but just understand that's not important right now. That's just not, is not important. No disrespect. Make sure they're, if they're under you, if you got a woman under you, make sure she's straight, all the regular stuff. But if it doesn't work out, don't obsess about it. You're wasting your time. Right? So this is what I had to tell him. And I could tell, like, you could, like, and I usually get these kind of reactions, because I if people ask me a personal question, especially if it's about me, like, if they're asking something about my parents or my siblings, then no, I'm just gonna be like, oh, they're good. I'm not gonna give you the tea on my siblings or my parents. But if it's about just my personal life, I'll tell you. I'll tell you, especially if it's just me and you, and we're just in the car together, shooting the shit, right? I'll I'll be very frank with you about my personal life, even my dating life. I said there's nothing serious, there's nothing going on. Not there's I said I told him there's literally nothing to talk about. I told him straight up, I was like, yeah, women are not a strong suit in my life. So, and I said, so don't even ask me about like relationship. If somebody want to call me like deadbeat in relationships, I'd actually accept that title. Got oh, Garrett Grant. Shout out to Garrett Grant. Shout out to Warband members in the chat. He says Godfrey is speaking facts. Travis is gonna need a vibranium prenup. Well, I always say the best, you know. What somebody say is like the number one cause of divorce is marriage. People are like, how do I avoid the divorce? And you just be like, don't get married. That's the one of the oldest jokes in the book, but this applies here. The best way to the best prenup is to not get married. Is to not get engaged. That's the best prenup you can do. The prenuptial agreement. The best prenup you can do is to not get married. Because at the end of the day, most prenups can get challenged if there's money to be made from it, from the courts, from the lawyers, and any other bloodsuckers that can benefit from that situation. Yeah, I could, like, he started opening up about his relationship, and I never even heard about this stuff, because most people are not honest. Most men are not honest about how it is with women. Man, oh yeah, I'm bagging this chick, and yo, she obsessed with me. That's how all these dudes be talking about this. They won't talk about how they got played by a broad. They'll talk about how annoying a broad is, but they won't talk about how they got finessed. They won't talk about how they almost got in a situation where they were caught simping and the girl was scheming on him and the girl's friends was also scheming. People won't tell those stories. I will. I will. And I think that's what people do appreciate about me in general. That I'll tell you that, oh yeah, this happened to me. And obviously I've had my decent I've had, some positive experiences here and there, but in terms of women right now in my life, or what, in my 20s, I'm talking about in my early 20s, or when I was 18, or when I was in high school, there's really not much to talk about. Not much to talk about, because it's been mostly unsuccessful. And most men are not. I don't know why men are afraid. I think the thing is, men are afraid to be labeled as a, I guess, an incel or a virgin. But I think, you know what it is, another thing, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I'm gonna have to on this case. I think God has blessed me in this regard. I used to get torn apart by people when I was a kid, literally torn apart. Let me get personal with you guys real quick. Hold on. Let me get a banner. Let me put a background banner out here. Let me put the homegirl Himiko up here, right? I was blessed when I was a kid to be, bullied, made fun of, like the stuff that people would say about me when I was like in kindergarten, elementary school, middle school, high school. You know what I mean? To be called a virgin is not really a diss, even though that's not true about me, right? But I think the worst, like, men don't want to be classified as that, or as an incel, right? Men don't want to be called those things, or somebody that's not successful with women, or they don't want to be known as a person that has to quote unquote pay for play, right? So they do all types of things to cover up for those insecurities, when all you really have to do is just be honest, like, oh yeah, I'm just not good with women. I told I told bro, I'm not good with women, bro. It's not that I can't figure them out. Is because I have them figured out is why I'm not good with women. That's because I, especially now, when it comes to um, women in general, younger women, I keep my distance in terms of when it comes to work, when it comes to going to the gym. And the funny thing about it is, because I've always been honest about that. I've never hidden hidden from the fact. But the interesting thing is, other women will actually, they won't hold it against me. And then once people get to know me, they'll realize, oh yeah, like I guess, if do a lot of dudes, they want to be known as a guy with a sex life, or they have a life, or, oh, I got these rotational broads. And I'll be the first to tell. Like, I used to be like, when I was like, you can ask Ainsley when I was working, when we was working together. Like, I'd be the first person to say, like, yo, I'm in a dry spell. I am. I'll be like, but I was like 19. I was 19 at the time, or 18 at the time. I'd be like, yo, I am in a dry spell. Yeah, I literally would be like, yo, I am in a dry spell. I'd be like, the last broad I had was college. I'm like, ever since summer hit, I have been out there thirsty. I would literally say this stuff out loud, man. You can't like, and especially watching Corey Holcomb and him just speaking his truth. Like I just feel like if you're telling the truth and you're speaking freely and you don't have no agendas, no whatever, you'll be truthful and people will actually give you the benefit of the doubt. You'll have people stick up for you. You didn't even think people was in your corner because if you keeping it a buck about what it is, it will actually help you and you'll actually, in my opinion, I've had more women interested now than when I was lying, than when I was trying to, you know what I mean? I'll say like, yeah, especially when we're talking about senior year in high school, when I was trying to cover up for my lies and all this stuff. You talking about senior year high school or like freshman year college, trying to lie and nah, that's not all that lying and trying to covering up for your tracks. That's not it, dog. That's just my opinion. It's just it ain't it. Might as well live in your truth and just be like, look, I'm struggling at this area. You'll actually be more successful if you just keep it in the buck. And once people get to know me, they realize, oh, I actually do have a dating life outside of this. I'm just tell people I'm just not good at it. They realize, oh, you do have a sex life outside of your work. It's just I will tell dudes or I will tell people I'm just not. That's just not my strong suit in life. But most dudes, they just want to they like and it'll be clear that they're a lame or they're a goofy, but they still want to keep up the facade that this is a strong suit. And we have similar statistics, right? Let me see. Truth Hunter said, how's it with women? Me, not many women these days with ladies is okay. you know. But yeah, you just got to keep it 100. I just be keeping it 100, man, with that. And you'll be surprised too. It'd be dudes that they really want to talk about what's been ailing them with the broads, but they can't because dudes is not they just not keeping it 100. Truth Hunter says try to keep a distance, chill. Then the cashier at a gas station flirts with you or wants to. Yo, facts. This will be happening. Yo, just no, because this will be happening. This will be happening, man. This will be happening. Let me tell you, this just happened yesterday. I think no, 2 days ago. This just happened because no, I was leaving work. So I think this was Friday. It either had to be Friday or Thursday. I'm blanking on the dates. But let me hit you up with something. I was at the gas station. This girl, I didn't know there was somebody at the front register. I was in the gas station. I was about to pass out driving home from work. I went in there looking for candy like I usually do. Just trying to get my candy and be out. That's what I'd be trying to do. I don't because so I didn't realize there was nobody at the register. I just see some older dude trying to come in and out. He's coming in and out. And I didn't realize it. Then I see like a girl come out and she was kind of looking in and out. And then I was like, what in the hell? Then I go to the register. So I'm like, oh, there's somebody at the register. Let me get this candy, get out of here. There was a piece of paper on the table. She looks outside and it's almost like she's looking out for this dude that's coming in and out. The guy's outside. She waits for me to come to the counter. She takes the paper off the counter and she's like, hi, how can I help you? And blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wait, what did that paper say? And she was like, and she just didn't want to explain that. And then I looked at the paper. Oh, this service is not available right now. But I'm like, it's 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. What are you talking? Usually you put that paper out if you like on a lunch break or something. But I read between the lines. She was trying to avoid the dude that was outside the gas station. Because what ends up happening is because I used to work as a cashier, so I noticed working with many women. You'll have dudes, they'll come to certain restaurant, sorry, not restaurant, they'll go to certain gas stations, they'll go to certain Home Depots, Lowe's, uh any spots with cashiers, just so they can flirt with the young female cashiers. And these guys will have whole wives at home. They be stalking the female cashiers and all this stuff. What time you get off work? They be taking note on what shift they be working on. She was trying to avoid homie in the back. And I was like, oh, my bad. Holy, and I was like, holy shit. Whatever. We end up kind of talking about it for like 20 seconds. Whatever. I'm just like, look, I'm just trying to get my stuff and get out of here. She sees my shirt, whatever, because I had my high school on it, my old high school on it. And she's like, oh yeah, I had a sister that went there, blah blah blah. Oh yeah, yeah. I went there a minute ago, man. Same old, same old. Ain't nothing to worry about. She gets red in the face, blah blah blah. We do a little whatever, blah blah blah. But that's basically how it usually happens when I'm really not trying to look for anything. And what ends up and also ends up happening is it's basically a relief when they see somebody of a younger age, or they see like a dude that's not as stalkerish. Then they're just like, it's almost a relief. It's almost a relief of not having to deal with these quote unquote older creepy guys, whatever. Or if they do see a OG that's not a creep, they're just relieved, and then they'll start opening up to you and start talking about some stuff that don't even matter. I remember, oh yeah, when I remember, I don't want to tell because I was in another job too earlier. They just be like the homie, like the female cashiers, they be getting harassed. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna lie, they be getting harassed because they don't say it. That's how I know that they're getting harassed because they're not saying they're getting harassed, but they be getting harassed. So I remember even I think earlier this summer, it was a spot I stopped for a break during in between work. I don't want to say what job I was working at the time, but it was this gas station I went to specifically in twice in 1 week, right? Because just of the location. Went there one time, whatever. And because the bar is so low and they're just so used to like people just being mean, you just be like, oh, hello, thank you, have a nice day, whatever. They'd be like, oh, thank you so much. Right. First day, same thing like that. Second day, I come in, whatever. She's telling me, yo, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Come here real quick. Let me try to check you out. And I was like, what's going on? And then I come in there with my iced tea, whatever, some chips. Okay. I'm like, what's up? No, this guy, he comes in. Oh my God, he's gonna take forever and he's just gonna talk about now. As I come in and do this stuff, when I hear stuff like that, I don't look at it as, oh, cool, another girl to confide in me. I look at that as like, okay, I'm not going to this gas station again because I'm not trying to be stuck behind a line full of dudes, full of older dudes trying to play that scratch lottery stuff, taking up all the time when I only got 2 minutes or 5 minutes of my break time just to buy what I need to buy, and get back to where I need to be. I can't be doing that. And I haven't been back to that gas station since. Right. And then, oh yeah, I remember, also, when I was working at, what's it? Yeah, Home Depot. Because what happens is, like, if you're like, because at the time when I was at Home Depot, um, and I was working as a cashier, I was like, what, 21 or 20 years old, 20 or 21 years old. So what ends up happening is all the girls I went to high school with. So when their younger sisters, right? If their younger sisters are 4 years younger than them or 5 years younger than them, once they turn 18, they start working as a cashier or they start working as a worker as Home Depot. So I basically end up being close with with the girls that rejected me, their sisters, right? And then we will talk from there, and then we'll start just talk about life because there's literally nothing else to do. And then you'll see firsthand, when you're working as a cashier, any male cashier can tell you, where you'll have a female cashier. All the female cashier has to do is be a little bit extra nice, and then she'll have a stalker. So this is kind of where I this is where I have empathy. This is where I do have empathy. But like, yeah, to Truth Hunter's point, when you're talking about, you just trying to chill. Usually it's always when I'm trying to chill, and or I'm just trying to be in and out, or if I'm just trying to be regular that day, I'm not trying to do nothing. When I'm not on thirst mode, when I'm really not looking, this is when I get somebody trying to flirt, somebody try, because you'll even have, you'll have people try to flirt, but people don't understand, like, when you're dealing with waitresses, uh female cashiers, these people that work at front desk, the McDonald's workers that we joke about, they're that's their job, is to be nice, right? They're just doing their job. It's there's really nothing to it. There's really nothing to it. But a lot of, but especially, I don't know what is it with maybe that's gonna happen to me when I get older. But you have a lot of guys that they will misinterpret female niceness for flirting. You know that's something that a lot of people don't understand, and a lot of the times what people don't understand is, if you're not a flirting type of dude, or if you're a dude that's not thirsty, that actually intrigues women more, and then they will actually they'll try to up the ante with you. They'll be like, oh my god, this is the first person that's not thirsty over me. I wonder what he's about. Shout out to Young Doka, man. Thank you for checking up on me the yesterday via the comments. This is one of the few days, because I had my performance earlier today. I was like, I said, I think I could do a live tonight, but I'm gonna have to take a nap right after. I'm like, I'm gonna have to take that nap, or I'm just gonna be groggy the whole time. Let me see if I have another Travis Hunter video, and then I'll move on to Caitlin Clark. Let me just make sure I covered my bases with with that situation. So I think I have another Travis Hunter video. I think I have one or two, or I'll just show you a couple more tings, right? So let's see this real quick. So I don't know if you guys saw it, shout out to so I don't know if you saw this, right? So in this video, when they announced Travis Hunter as the winner for the Heisman, you're gonna see. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me see. Let me take Himiko off the screen. Let me take Himiko off the screen. So right here, you see you're gonna see Leanna sitting down, right? Right here. So everybody's standing up. Deion Sanders, his coach is standing up. Deion Sanders' family standing up. Deion Sanders, I think that's his girl or his sister. I don't know who's next to Deion right there. And Deion Sanders had to tell her to stand up. She was still sitting while everybody's standing up. Look, right here. So you see, Deion had to literally, like, Leanna was just gonna be sitting down the whole time, bro. This woman, dog, he need a dropper. He need a dropper, man. I'm sorry. You see him literally having to take his hand and be like, yo, you gotta stand up. Yo. And Travis Hunter was already going towards her. And here she is sitting down. Man, boy. Hey man. Hey boy. Oh, I think that's yeah, okay. I think that's Travis Hunter's mom, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's Travis Hunter's mom. And then obviously you got Deion Sanders, and then you have Shadur Sanders, the quarterback for Colorado. I don't know how you had Deion Sanders and Shadur Sanders standing up, and the girl is still sitting down. What? Oh my god. Oh yeah, and by the way, he does have his dad in his life. His dad decided not to go to the Heisman ceremony for other reasons. For other reasons. So he does, like, he's not his dad is in the picture. His dad specifically said, I will be there when my son gets married and once my son gets drafted. He said, so I can tell there's probably something between. He probably doesn't like how they run things over there with college football. There's a lot of black dudes that I know like that. So that's a whole other story for another day. Look up the Cam Newton situation with his dad, with Cecile Newton saying that he didn't. That's a whole other situation. But let's focus on Leanne. Like, she, oh my goodness, man. Okay, so shout out to Young Doka. He said, I almost asked a girl at my job recently who was nice to me for her number, but I had to take a step back and realize she don't want me like that and that she's just friendly. Yeah, sometimes, because sometimes you will run across a very friendly woman, but that doesn't mean she's interested. She's just a friendly type of person. So a lot of dudes fall for that trap because a lot of women are not that friendly in general. And or no, how about how no, let me rephrase that. They're not friendly to the dudes that they can't use, right? So if there's no association, like if there's nothing that she can use you for, if you don't have no clout, or there's nothing that you can help her with, she will just go past you like you don't exist. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the unfortunate thing. So when a man does, or if the average dude comes across a girl that's a little bit friendly, they might take it as, oh man, she likes me, but it's not that. You know what I mean? So sometimes you got to check yourself. You know what I mean? Truth Hunter says, stand up, fool, this isn't your bed. Yeah, like that's how basically Dion had to tell her. Garrett Grant said, I ain't saying she's a gold digger. Yep. Pyro says she's just a waste of time. looking for fame, status, and money. So Young Doka said, "Hold on, what do you mean Dad's not liking college football? Speak on it just a bit." So in 2010, I remember Cam Newton's dad. They were trying to accuse Cam Newton's dad of doing a deal under the table with Mississippi State or something. And it was basically they were looking for anything, the writers and the college football people at the time. They were just looking for anything to discredit Cam Newton and his success during that the time. So they were trying to make Cecile Newton look like some kind of bad guy. So what ended up happening is Cecile couldn't attend Cam Newton's Heisman ceremony. I've spoken on this story before, but you might have not been there. So I'll speak on that a little bit. And there's things that you need to talk to black dads that have had their sons in D1 programs and how Zoe Williams was talking about how when he had his son at Auburn, or specifically Auburn, you have the coaches, they will specifically only go after certain kids. Like they will only recruit like 5 stars or 4 stars, but if they're single mom raised, they tend to like not they will avoid trying to do under the table deals with dudes with dads, right? Because they know what their son is really worth. You know what I mean when I say that? So remember back when they were doing, those deals under the table when there was no NIL, right? And they would be doing deals under the table. They would offer the single mammy raised sons different things than what they offered the kids that were raised with dads. I don't know if you guys get the chance to watch this, but watch Johnny Manziel's interview with Shannon Sharp, the Club Shay Shay interview that Johnny Manziel did with with uh, Shannon Sharp. And Johnny Manziel basically revealed that his dad was handling all the finances, the deals, and all that stuff. And his dad was like, "Yo, no, this is the price of my son. Right? Like this is how much to get us. This is how much it's gonna cost, right?" And basically, what Johnny Manziel was describing is what they were trying to accuse Cecile Newton for, and trying to act like he was a devil for doing. You know what I mean? So he kind of exposed the game right there. So if you ask particularly black dads their experience on the recruitment process and how the college coaches tend to treat the black sons with fathers than the ones without the fathers, just ask them about how it is, because they wanted the college coaches, especially during that time before NIL, they wanted to be the ones that did the molding process. They wanted to be the ones that's hand on the molding process. But if you have a dude that has a dad, he already has somebody doing the molding. He's already molded into something. So that's why they'll target, especially when it comes to certain positions of players. So like Deion Sanders makes that joke. He said like, "Oh yeah, I want my QBs that have a family structure. I want my kids I want the QBs to come from a well raised family and blah blah blah." And then he said, "I want my defensive backs to come from a single mom raised household." You know what I mean? So it's a certain dynamic. It's a certain thing that college coaches, especially in the past, they would take advantage of. You know, they go after these kids that they'll be 4 stars or 5 stars, but they be coming from a single mom raised home, and they're able to get over on certain things with the single mom raised kids than they would be if the kid had if the kid's dad is very involved in the recruitment process. It's harder for the recruiters. And especially when it comes to the black kids, because like for the white kids, they kind of already expect the white dad to be there, and there's already an understanding there. But when, especially if there's a black father involved, they're already kind of talking to you in a different way. Just ask them. Just ask them how they'll talk to them. They'll talk to them like they don't know how this process works, and they don't know what they're doing and all this stuff. They get a lot of black fathers, a part of the recruitment process. They get gaslit a lot. The kids get gaslit. The kids of the fathers get gaslit a lot. So it can be, it can turn into something nasty. You know what I mean? Let me see. Young Doka said also Travis girl is the type to not even wait for the 5 year mark, let alone the 10 years before dipping. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Gary Grant said, yeah, I remember a little bit of that interview. Yeah, look at that Johnny Manziel interview with Club Shay Shay. All that stuff that they were they were tripping over. They were trying to make Cam Newton's dad look bad for, and he basically admitted how this process works, how it used to work, where the dad was like, "Look, I need $1 million here. I need $1 million here, and my son is not going to go to the school if blah blah blah." You know what I mean? But especially a lot of black fathers, they're always working uphill. It's almost an impossible mission for them because they're always working uphill. Let me see. Truth Hunter said, "I want my the quote. I want my nose guard to have a family and love steak." Exactly. That's kind of how like those college recruiters they go at it. So if they find somebody, they think, okay, I got this DB here, defensive back. Okay, 5 star. Okay, he's nasty. Got blah blah blah. But then they go to his house and they think that they're gonna put any type of deal with on his table, and they'll think he's gonna fall for it. But then they find out his dad is heavily involved in the process. Now, then they knew. Then they that now the recruitment trip just got 10 times harder because the father's involved. Because you're not just gonna put any old deal on the table. The dad, what if the father is involved in the recruitment process? He's gonna ask for something where you're gonna have to put real equity on the table. Sorry, equity under the table. You're not just gonna give him just some money and that's enough. No, you're gonna put like real promises and real incentives. You know what I mean? If there's a father involved in the recruitment process, especially if it's a black athlete, because the black father's already coming there on pure protection mode. He's like, nah, you ain't just gonna this because in their mind, nah, this ain't no average ninja family. So they're already coming off that energy. I always say, oh yeah, just ask LeVar Ball. Look how they treated LeVar Ball. They acted like this guy was like doing something wrong, and all he was doing was trying to get the best situations for his sons, right? LeVar Ball, like in my draw, I didn't even like Lonzo Ball or Leangelo Ball personally, but I've always had respect for LeVar Ball. I like he LeVar Ball made me like his sons. I had to start rooting for his sons because of LeVar Ball. You know, I found him very entertaining, but I found him very like I saw the method to his madness. This is a guy who really plans things out and really had like a 20, 30, 40 year plan for his sons. You know what I mean? So here we got another video right here that I'm about to show you with Travis Hunter, where you see Travis Hunter taking photos with fans, right? So you got Travis Hunter taking photos with fans, right? And you're gonna hear his girl talking about, yo, do I gotta sit here all day? It's crazy, man.
All right. I hear them. You go to the hotel, you go walk around. We can't find Matt. I called him twice. Where's that coming from? What's that? Trap, we're going to take one as a group, and that's it.
So the audio might, obviously the audio's not clear on that, but if you can tell, he's sitting there arguing, basically having to tell his girl, yo, chill out, we gonna be out at 4:30. And she's asking him, yo, do I have to sit here all day and basically wait for you to take pictures with these people? Yes, that's your job. Like, what the yo, right now, Travis Hunter, this is part of the gig. Yes, you just sitting there and watching random dudes take pics with him while he's doing his promotion for whatever brand he's promoting for. That's part of the job. Do I have to sit here all day? Yes. Yo, I tell you, man. I always say this, man. When it comes to men and women, we ignore the red flags. It's on our preferences, man. When it comes to our preferences, we will ignore all the red flags. I'm talking about all of the red flags. And it will be like the red flags will be so obvious, but because it's our preference. Now, if the bitch is fat, now we're like, hey. Or if she looking a certain way, now you're like, hey. But now if she's light skinned, oh, hey, she's just tripping right now. She just tripping. Okay. Okay, I'm telling you, man. We pay for that. People pay for that. Ignoring the obvious signs, man. People, you gonna pay for that. You gonna pay for that. Truth Hunter says she's acting like a guy when his woman is shopping. Exactly. Like, but in her mind, she's the prize. So I'll say this: maybe it's not that she might really think that she's the prize, because you got guys like that. Because even though Travis Hunter was a 5-star coming out of high school, he probably simped so hard for her. She really thinks she's the prize. That kind of delusion, and somebody that's not you. This is why you'd have, like, princes, kings of the past, royalty. They would have trained women that were like trained to be with princes, kings, clergymen, royalty, uh, you know, sons of governors and ministers and all this stuff. You would have They would arrange these dudes with like trained women. Here, like, this is an untrained woman. You know what I mean? Like, she's clearly, like, she needs like, she's not even media trained. Like, I know Travis Hunter might want to bring all the people that was quote unquote there in the beginning with her, but that that ain't it. That ain't it, man. That ain't it. Oh man. Oh, also, so let me bring up let me bring up Caitlin Clark. I don't have the I gotta find. I don't know why I don't have that video saved. That video where Caitlin Clark is saying that the WNBA is is built off of black women. Let me see. Let me see if I can find that video. Because she was like talking about white privilege or something. I hope I can find that video of her sitting and then she was talking about like dudes was. I don't know. I don't know why uh the trad cons were shocked. So yeah, so Caitlin Clark, she just won athlete of the year, right? You know, and I don't know if you guys remember those. Hit a 2 in the chat if you remember my Caitlin Clark streams, and I don't know, and hit a 2 in the chat when if you can confirm if you watched the Caitlin Clark streams that I did, where I was like, I think you guys are putting way too much into her. Like you're putting like way too much like yeah, she's getting fouled, but like remember when I basically downplayed the roughness that she was quote unquote getting from the uh the other female players. I was like, as long as they're not getting her at the legs, it's not that bad. And I brought up soccer examples where I would say, like, look, Messi is the best player in the world. And I've seen him get rugby tackled at age like 26, 27, getting rugby tackled by a 19-year-old. You know what I mean? So if you see I see the twos in the chat. So like I was basically saying like, guys, I know you guys want Caitlin Clark to succeed for whatever agenda you might have, but just remember she's don't be surprised if she's not gonna be on board with what you guys want. And that goes to the trad cons, whatever. So yeah, specifically the trad cons or the Caucasian conservative dudes. um I was like, you guys are doing a little bit too much. It's like because I guess because she does what Caitlin Clark doesn't understand, the fan base that she has is middle America, right? Middle America, it's the type of fan base that she has is what middle America wants to see. So regular, degular, Caucasian chick, giving the business. You know what I mean? Giving black women the business in their own sport. There's a market for that. And then on top of that, because she has that appeal, because I remember there was people in the chat like, well, AJ Wilson is better, and what else? No, they weren't saying AJ. Yeah, they were saying Juju Watkins is better, right? They were like, no, Juju Watkins is better. She's not even the best player. I'm like, well, guys, this is she's bringing. She has the eyes coming in because that's what the people want to see her. That's who they want. That's what middle America wants to see. She's the box office attraction, right? But too many people got caught up in race with Caitlin Clark. I'm talking about black people, but I'll say specifically black people on this one. And then, you know, uh the trad cons, right? On Caitlin Clark. and oh, she's destroying the she's the only one that can save the league. And then I remember asking, I'm like, I thought you guys didn't care about women's sports. I'm like, why do you care about quote unquote whether or not Caitlin Clark is saving the league or not? Like I was literally asking that question. I was like, so I'm like, I thought you guys didn't care about women's sports. So Caitlin Clark now, she wins Time Athlete of the Year. You know, she's obviously has had a great impact on the WNBA, has brought a lot of eyes to the WNBA. Now they're going to, and unfortunately, Caitlin Clark has received mostly hate from the very people that she's about to defend right now, which is the biggest irony of this whole thing, right? But I'm not shocked at that. I'm not actually shocked at this response. So right here, she wins Time Athlete of the Year. Black woman here is going to ask her a question about her awards and her accomplishments, and this is what she says.
Yeah, your announcement for Athlete of the Year, like tremendous, incredible positive feedback. That's what we've seen across the board. There's always going to be some negativity. And I feel like you have had to answer more questions than anybody about the intersectionality of race and gender and sexuality in sport because of just who you are and you represent the growth of this thing. And even earlier today, Megyn Kelly, she was saying that you were apologizing for your white privilege and the fact that you wanted to uplift Black female athletes and make sure that they were getting the shine, kind of like your pioneers were getting the shine that they deserve. And I just want to know how you.
And she's talking about an earlier comment that she made that Black women were the pioneers of the WNBA and basically giving them giving black women the props for being the pioneers of the WNBA. The very same women that were hating on Caitlin Clark, she was actually giving them credit. You know, it's sad. It's sad because really, when you look at it, Caitlin Clark is in a catch-22. She's in a catch-22 because she really doesn't want to align with her fan base, even though that's the fan base that's made her who she is. But like I said, women like that, they don't lean right. So a Caitlin Clark, well, how old is she? She can't be no more than 22 years old or 23. Young Caucasian women at that age, especially now, if she's gone through college, they're not going to be right leaning. They might be right leaning privately, like in terms of when it comes to voting, like they might privately vote right, but socially and publicly, they're going to lean left. And I've been trying to say this for I don't know how long, but but conservatives, especially like TradCon dudes, they be getting their heart broke. You know, that should be having me laughing. But anyways, let's hear Caitlin Clark's response here.
You feel or how you respond to some of those criticisms when you have to deal with something that it's really not your problem. Like I feel like it's them looking in a mirror a little bit, but it still comes down on your shoulders.
I feel like I always have had really good perspective on everything that's kind of happened in my life, whether that's been good, whether that's been bad. And then obviously coming to the WNBA, like I've said, I feel like I've earned every single thing that's happened to me over the course of my career. But also I grew up a fan of this league from a very young age. Like my favorite player was Maya Moore. Like I know what this league was about. And like I said, like it's only been around 25 plus years. So I know there's been so many amazing Black women that have been in this league, and continuing to uplift them, I think is very important. And that's something I'm very aware of. And like I said, like I try to just be real and authentic and, share my truth. And I think that's very easy for me. Like I'm very comfortable in my own skin. And that's kind of been how it is my entire life.
Yes.
So if you actually hear this response, it's actually not woke. Her response is actually not woke. In my opinion, that's not really a woke response. It's a response that I actually expect Caitlin Clark to say. But what happens is there's a lot of dudes in the TradCon sphere. They swear that they hate women's sports, right? But then at the same time, they want Caitlin Clark to quote unquote save it. It's getting pathetic. I think they've put way too much into they put way too much into trying to use her to set a standard. And I don't think trad understand. I don't think they understand that, like, these people are their own people, right? Caitlin Clark is her own person. She doesn't align with the right. She really doesn't align with the left, really, to be quite frank. The way I see how she kind of goes about it, she really doesn't really align left that much. She's just her own person, and she's obviously going to be socially left. She's going to be socially left leaning because she's still in the public sphere, the public sphere. She's still playing in the WNBA. I'm pretty sure most of her teammates are left leaning individuals, so she can't be like outright conservative like that. You know what I mean? Or they're gonna really start going for her knees, right? So I don't know why the tradcons were so heartbroken by this response. I don't get it. I don't get it. Yo, shout out to Truth Hunter. He said, and the funniest thing is they will still hate her. That's the unfortunate thing that Caitlin Clark does. She doesn't. What she doesn't get is they're still gonna hate her. You know. So she's saying this now, right? And black women are still in that league. Black women in that league, they're still gonna find a way to hate on her. Legends of the past, they're still gonna find a way to hate on her, right? So Pyro says what? So people don't know white women lean left in public? Well, it's just tradcon dudes are hopeless romantics, man. It is what it is. Tradcon dudes are hopeless romantics, and they're just hoping that like women learn their lesson and they finally come back to the right way, like quote unquote. That's why I keep telling you. That's why they're quote unquote trying to save women's sports. It's a dating strategy, man. It's a dating strategy. I always say, well, it's not like I want people to learn their lesson. I just said, but I'm like, well, if you kind of do it my way, where you just let nature take its course, they will. It's not like they will learn their lesson. They will just switch their ways. They're not going to admit that they were wrong. They're just going to switch their ways, and maybe things will start leaning back towards your favor as a man. But men keep trying to interfere. They keep trying to prove themselves. Another dating strategy, right? And they just make things worse for themselves. So much to the point where I don't know how, as a tradcon dude, or if you're conservative, you're looking to Caitlin Clark to do what are you looking for Caitlin Clark to do? Save women's sport? Say be the WNBA's messiah? I mean, because you're defending her from the black women that hate her already, that be hating on her, you think that she's gonna repay you for being so she's gonna repay you back by being a tradcon and being an unapologetic, white woman, like Trump is a unapologetic uh man, right? Like, I don't know what they expected from her, you know, but the heartbreak. They're just like, oh, how could she? I'm not a fan no more. He's just like, okay. I'm like, you guys need to relax when it comes to Caitlin Clark. I'm like, y'all need to relax. You know? Um it is what it is. Oh man. But I'm shocked that I have to come to the defense of Caitlin Clark on this matter as well. You know. And she'll learn eventually that no matter how much you try to placate or cater to the woke, to the left, it's never going to be enough, you know. So I hope how she feels is really how she feels. Because if this is how she really feels, then that's how she really feels. I'm not. That's not really a shocking stance. That's not really a shocking speech that she gave, especially at her age. She's gonna say it that way. But yeah, that I guess that her quote right there. She says, I want to say I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there is privilege. A lot of these players in the league that have been really good have been black players. This league has kind of been built on them. The more we can appreciate that, highlight that, talk about that, and then continue to have brands and companies invest in these players that have made this league incredible, I think it's very important. I have to continue to try to change that. The more we can elevate black women, that's going to be a beautiful thing. Now, I find this to be a funny quote only because we know that the same woman that Caitlin Clark is trying to uplift, they hate her the most. And then meanwhile, at the same time, just because she said this quote, you have basically middle America, they feel betrayed. you got white dudes and white women all across the country of middle America, they feel betrayed just because she said this quote. So she's kind of like really putting herself in a catch 22 situation, you know. Can't say I feel bad. It's just it's pretty unfortunate. It's just unfortunate, cuz she just wants to be her own person at the end of the day. But unfortunately, hold on for a second. What did I just hit? Oh, never mind. I want to open this post in another thing. I want to open this tweet. And I want to see the okay, so Ben Shapiro says Caitlin Clark had to issue this WNBA land acknowledgement in order to be allowed in polite company. But let's be real, the WNBA wasn't built on black women. It was built on NBA men who subsidized that useless league for decades. Facts, right? Oh man. She's in a catch 22. So here you have Wolf Krieger. He says, now that Caitlin Clark has lost all respect from her supporters by bending the knee to BLM, CRT, and the evil witches in the WNBA, she is about to be lampooned and backstabbed by the ones who demanded her fealty. They will never accept her because she's white. They hate her. And I'm kind of conflicted about this tweet because I don't really look at her saying what she said as bending the knee. I believe she's always felt that way, right? She's probably always felt that the WNBA was built off of black women, right? She honestly has like she's said very left leaning things in the past before, you know. So this doesn't really so she what she's saying is really kind of how she's kind of always felt that way, but you know, it is what it is. Redway Press said the WNBA is a charity that is funded by the NBA. The WNBA has never been profitable. But I don't know what they expected her to be like unapologetic. I don't know if they wanted her to be like a Larry Bird type, just unapologetic dude, but um I mean, you know, but now But I told like I remember like I'm like you guys need to relax on the Caitlin Clark, you know, not the love, but it's just I'm like y'all putting way too much on her. Like you know what I mean? Like I was saying the same thing for Riley Gaines. I'm like I hope she did not sleep with no black men in the past, or you're gonna lose all your support. You know what I mean? Y'all putting way too much on these people that really don't care about like I'm not saying Caitlin Clark hates men or she doesn't care about men, but a lot of these so-called tradcon women that a lot of these tradcon dudes they put so much stake in and stock in, those girls don't really care about dudes like that. They don't. I don't know why they're putting so much into her. Truth Hunter said tradcons maybe he said this is the point of view of tradcons. He said maybe if I help women, they'll touch my lightning rod. I think that's what they're doing. I think that's what they're doing because like all this stuff, I don't know why they're crying about Caitlin Clark. I'm like, I thought you guys didn't care about women's sports. I'm like, weren't you guys laughing with me with these women sports compilations? But like I said, the reason why I'm highlighting a lot of these stories, and especially these stories, particularly for Americans, it seems like American men they they're just like waiting on the day where women are gonna, American women are gonna learn their lesson and they're gonna bow down and bend the knee. Guys, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. Even like say if the worst happens, like World War III happens, right? And they say, should we put and they're like, and then you start saying maybe we should have women in the draft. Like women are not gonna be crawling on their knees and begging for forgiveness. No, they're just gonna transition into what they're supposed to be doing in the first place. They're not gonna say sorry. They're just gonna be like, look, I'm a woman. I don't work and I don't do this. And if you're gonna take care of me, you gotta take care of me. It is what it is. They're not gonna say sorry. They're just gonna be doing what they used to do. They're just gonna transition into that. And if you can't afford that, then you're just not the guy for me. They're not gonna apologize. They're not gonna apologize for laughing at men's face for quote unquote surpassing them in the work field, even though everything was basically given to them. They're not gonna apologize for, Deion Sanders high stepping into the touchdown. like like I remember Aaron said it best, the conservative that I showed you for the Black Republicans Matter stream. He said it best. Like he said, the women now, it's not that they're just doing better, quote unquote, man. They're like high stepping. You know what I mean? They're just ha ha in your face and just bragging about it on how they're quote unquote doing better than their male counterparts, particularly the younger women. They're not going to apologize for any of that stuff, especially when that stuff is going to backfire on them in the future. They're not going to apologize for that. They're just going to transition back into what women used to do, and they're just going to be like, oh no, this is what I am. Take it or leave it. That's what trad cons, it seems like, what when it comes to this Caitlin Clark story, I really came to that conclusion. That's how I took it. I didn't even take it as, oh, Caitlin Clark bent the knee to the woke. I just literally took it and looking at the responses, I'm like, what did you expect her to do? Like, she's 22, 23 years old. I'm like, what did you expect her to do? First of all, she's surrounded by these people, so she can't even really, even if she does feel that the way that you guys do, she can't express that. She's already getting rough treatment now. or according to you guys, rough treatment. What do you think is gonna happen to her if she was like as unapologetic as like say Orange Man, right? Come on, right? So, but what I've come to the conclusion is it's a lot of guys out there. It's like they're just banking on the day that women are gonna learn their lesson and they're gonna finally acknowledge. I'm letting you know now, and you need to understand. Anybody see that Call Him Rennie video? I'm telling you now, you need to understand. Yeah, it just seems like a lot of trad cons. They're just that's what they're that's what they're waiting for. That's what they want. They don't really want freedom. They don't understand that really women have created their own prison. Men, we don't have to we don't have to take care of them no more. When I finally realized that, I started realizing, and then I'm looking at the examples I have in my life, the examples of the people I know, and people don't understand it's a full-time job having to take care of all these people if you're the man. Now we're not required to do that no more because of feminism. Really, it's freed a lot of men, especially the men that would have had to get married for them to quote unquote get a girl for themselves, quote unquote. But there's another path that men can take, and we don't have the burden of having to take care of a broad no more. And people don't understand what goes into taking care of a broad. And a lot of those trad cons, unfortunately, they were lied to by their parents or their mom or their simp fathers, whatever. So you have a lot of trad con dudes with not really much experience with women, and they won't admit this, but they don't have a lot of experience with women. So they're always trying to harken back to the quote unquote good old days, but they don't realize what came with the good old days. It's a lot of responsibility of the opposite sex that I really don't want. Oh man. Power said because B dubs can't money, but hate her because she gets all the attention, because we all know B dubs and other races of women are attention seeking 304s. Truth Hunter said, sorry and I'm never wrong are not in their dictionary. Yeah, like I don't that's another thing too, Like you ask men of a certain age. Most women, they're not gonna say that they wrong or they say I'm sorry. Like anybody that's had a girl can tell you this. Like a girl's not gonna tell you I'm sorry, I was wrong. She's just gonna be. She's just what's gonna happen. Your girl's gonna act a fool one day, and then instead of saying I'm sorry, she's just gonna offer you some sex because she probably didn't give it to you for like a week or so, or a couple of days, and you've been pouting about it, and then she was acting a fool. So instead of saying I'm sorry, she's just gonna offer up her her used up punani as her saying I'm sorry. That's they don't apologize. That's not gonna happen. Because it's not just necessarily the apology, it's the accountability that comes with the apology. Because now if you say I'm sorry, now you're acknowledging that what you did was wrong. So if you start doing that same thing that you said you were sorry for again, now the man could be like, didn't you say you were sorry for this? So why are you continuing to do this? Then the onus goes on the man to be like, well, clearly you're not sorry about this. So clearly, if you're not sorry about this, if you're not accountable to this, how can you be accountable to be in a relationship to do what you do? If you're unfaithful in the future, are you sorry about that? if you're financially irresponsible and you say sorry and then you do it again, are you really so this is why many women don't say I'm sorry, because you got to be held accountable. When you say I'm sorry for doing this, if you do it again, that's a strike. You know what I mean? That's a strike. He said sorry and I'm not wrong. Are sorry and I'm wrong are not in in their dictionary. He said women made their own prison and they have the key to open it, but they throw their keys in a body of water. Yeah, like, and that's the crazy thing about this. Women actually can create their own destiny, and not only their own destiny, really the world's destiny, if you really think about it. Like, if you really think about it, women can create the world that they want. Meaning, if women were honorable people, they could actually create a great world for everybody. If you think about it, if you really think about it, they can create a perfect world. Let me tell you why I say this. Women, like, say, imagine if women were actually organized in terms of, there's like, okay, we're only gonna give punani to the nicest guys and the people that try to help build the community, to the builders of the society, the plumbers, the men that do the dirty labor jobs. We are going to, when we are in our younger years, we are going to reward them with the best of our sexuality. Do you know the world would be at peace? But because they don't even realize they could actually create this quote unquote utopia that they can. But because women are the way that they are, people don't understand, like, they're like, and especially trad cons, they don't get it. They still don't get it. They don't understand why, like, they'll be like, man, why are all these black dudes, they're always doing street things and blah blah blah. And I always say that's because black dudes love black women. But what does that have to do with anything? What do a lot of black women gravitate towards? Street ninjas. Who gets the best women? The street ninjas. So they're like, shoot, I'd rather be here. Okay, if I'm gonna get that, I gotta be a rapper. If I'm not a rapper, then I gotta be a trapper. And if I'm not a trapper, then I gotta play sports. And if can't play sports, I gotta play a harmonica, a keyboard, a guitar, or something. If not, I'm ish out of luck, unless if I'm 30 or 30 plus. Now, if I'm 30 plus and I have a degree, then maybe I can have a single mom of 4. So the best, the dudes, the black dudes in the community that are getting the best women are the degenerates. So what do you think the community of men are going to be? Degenerates. This is why in the Asian community, they would always make sure the men that are accomplishing the most, the men that are in school, the men that are contributing the most to society, they make sure they arrange these guys with the best woman that they can arrange them with. You know what I mean? And then if people wonder, oh, why are, you know, the small Asian communities in America, especially in the past, why they were so successful? Not really today, in my opinion, but especially when you're talking about from the 2000s and before that, right? Why Asians were so successful in their small communities, because they made sure the successful men had the best woman that they can arrange them with, right? Even, when you talk about the white community, the Brads, they can at least end up with a pretty ish woman around 25, 26 years old, 27 years old, eventually. But, in ninjadom, If they're not dating, if the guy's not going to date outside his race, and if he's just lock and steady trying to go for black women, he's gonna unfortunately risk his life so he can get the best of them at a certain point in time. Truth Hunter said, had one lady try to use sex as a get out of jail free card instead of say I'm sorry. I told her saying sorry would satisfy me more. Pissed her off to hell. He said when I was 17. Yeah, that's they'll do that to you. Or like say if the friend was acting up. Like say if that was like a platonic female friend, right? And she was acting up, then instead of saying sorry, she's going to be more touchy with you. Like she will be more physical in touching you. You know what I mean? Because they know that men, because instinctively they know most men's love language, quote unquote, whatever that BS is physical touch. So they will be more touchy feely on you because they're already assuming, oh, you don't have women touching on you in general. So that's another thing that they will their go-to card is physical intimacy because in their mind the average dude is not that physically intimate. Pyro said, Chris, did you ever see the meme with a big bird in a cage with a wide Did you see the meme with a big bird in a cage with a wide one cage bars? Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that where basically you have the bird. It's in a cage per se, but the bars is like wide. Like it can really leave anytime it wants to, but it's just because it's a cage and it's mine, they think they can't leave. you know? He said, if these women only date bookworms and tradesmen, all the Pookie and Ray Rays would either die out or become one of those two type of dudes. Exactly. If like black women came like together and just be like, nah, we are not sleeping with no street drug dealers, no nothing, no. All they would have to, really, all they have to do to change the community is to stop dealing with these ninjas, unemployed dudes, and all this stuff, and just date regular dudes because that is the problem, especially black women. They just can't find like they just can't date regular dudes. Like just a regular dude, a dude that just works at FedEx or UPS, right? Like Corey Holcomb said, a manager at Staples, a manager at Verizon Wireless, right? Just a regular average dude. That would literally just be the answer to most of their problems, but they just can't do it. They just cannot do it. They just can't do it. They will rather go through hell and back with a dude that is beating on them or a drug dealer that's not even really a drug dealer or an unemployed dude, a SoundCloud rapper. They will rather go through all of that than just settle with a dude that's like a school teacher or something. Just a regular normal dude. They just can't do it. I always bring up that Hannah Baker story, right? The 13 Reasons Why, even though it's a fictional story. But if you look at the series, her life would have been almost damn near perfect if she just went out with Clay Jensen in the beginning because he was literally willing to use the only not only it's not like she had options like that, but he seemed to be the only person that was willing to do everything for her. And he would have done everything for her. Her life would have been basically set. That's really as when if I were to advise a woman, you need to get a dude during that time because when a dude is in, if he's a teenager and he's in his early 20s or, Yeah, I would say a teenager, 20s and maybe mid 20s. He's if you show that man real affection and care and really put him first, he's literally willing to do anything. You're really so that's why people like we actually be giving women the cheat code. We be telling like you really should lock a guy down during that time. So he will have obligations towards you once you grow older. Because during that time, that man is willing to literally do anything and everything for you during that time. Even though on my channel, I be telling dudes not to do that. But during that time, men just can't help themselves. Their testosterone is just going nuts, right? So Truth Hunter says maybe we should tell them they can't date normal dudes. Then maybe they'll take it as a challenge. It won't work. I just think because I keep telling you people like three things. I don't even think that reverse psychology whatever. I just don't think that would even work. That's how much like they're just allergic to normalcy, like stability. You know what I mean? I always say, and then you'll hear a woman say, "I dated a normal dude and it didn't work," and then most likely if she's talking about normal, she's talking about a dude that worked in the military, policeman, or a firefighter, or a male nurse. Those are not normal jobs. Just to let you know, especially if you're talking about a firefighter, policeman, or if he's in the military, that's when they'll say, "Oh, I dated a normal guy that didn't work." That doesn't count. That's not. Those are not normal occupations, right? But what were you saying? To take it as I always no, I always say, women they hate. I always say they hate three things: average dudes, paternity tests, and women that are younger than them. Bottom line, they just anything that resembles a stability or normalcy, they can't do it. Because the problem is if you put women in a stable situation where they can't make excuses, if they mess up, they're going to be held accountable. This is why they don't want to be put in a normal situation. They can't. They can't do it. They can't do it. It's too stable. Yeah, as Truth Hunter said, prey on their pettiness. Nah, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. They're gonna do anything to avoid that accountability. And if they're put in a stable situation, then people are going to start looking to them. Okay, now what are you doing now? What's your part? What's your role? What are you doing? What are you doing to help him? This is why they always wait until they're hitting a certain age to get a quote unquote normal guy. And even then they're going to still use that excuse. Like remember, Melina, she was still she was she was hinting that Destiny was being abusive in the relationship. I was like, Melina, he literally you were allowed to screw whoever you want in the relationship, and you're going to start hinting at abuse. But that, like women have a very limited playbook to where even if it doesn't make sense to run that abuse play, they're still going to run it. Truth Hurt says they. Oh, hold on, I skipped this comment. Pyro said, Chris, what was that girl name again who was a Halloween star and dated a light skinned Pookie and got pregnant? Oh, Sky Jackson. Yeah, she literally she got impregnated by a dude that already has 4 kids and is unemployed. I'm just they they I'm sorry, especially when you're dealing with black women, like they love Pookie. They love Pookie, man. Their heart belongs to Pookie. I'm not even gonna say Tyrone. Their heart belongs to Pookie. So Truth Hunter says they're like children. So enough knows they might turn on that petty. No, it's not gonna be enough. I like it's like they to be with like a normal dude. That's like on their priority list. That's like last. That's like the last thing on their list. I don't know. I don't know if I showed you that Instagram video before. I'm not gonna look for it, but I remember showing you guys a video on my live stream, one of my live streams, when it's like a black dude and he's just showing like the list of all the dudes that comes before they go for the nice guy. Like they go for the drug dealers, the scammers, the athletes, the potheads, the drug dealers, right? They'll go. I'm talking about they'll go lesbian for a little bit. They'll go for a soy boy. Like I'm talking about a borderline gay, a borderline um butt pirate. They'll go for a borderline butt pirate. And then all these lists of people before they'll go for the average, they quote unquote settle for the average nice guy. I'm talking about they're gonna go through all of these different types of people before they'll do normal. I'm not gonna look for that post, but that I found that post that was very funny because it was so true. They want nothing normal. The last like I always bring up um that example. I remember watching a Fresh and Fit clip with Donovan Sharp like what 3 or 4 years ago, and I remember Donovan Sharp asked the ladies. He was like, "Yo, would you rather be with a man that cheats or a man that's boring but never cheats?" And the woman had to think about this. And then he waits 2 or 3 seconds, and for them to still be waiting that long, and he said, "You see, ladies and gentlemen, that's your answer right there." For them to even have to think about that just shows you the worst thing you can be to a woman is boring. That's the worst thing to be. you know? And it makes it that's why I tell people don't even oh man. Oh man, that's people they gonna learn. Eventually if they eventually they gonna learn. That's why I tell when you have women complaining about their boyfriend and stuff, you're not supposed to listen to them. You're not when they're complaining about their dating life because they most likely chose to be in the position that they're in. Like they literally they chose to be in that position. That's where they wanted to be. You're not supposed to come to their rescue. You're not supposed to feel bad, really. Here, give you an example. Let me show y'all something real quick, right? Because you'll have women admit this in real life. You'll have women admit this in real life. If you read, look at the caption. Head over here. She says, "Unfortunately, I have commitment issues when talking to a nice guy and have attachment issues when talking to a bad guy." And then people will say I'm a misogynist for saying you're not supposed to be listening to women when they talk about their dating issues. You're not even supposed to take dating advice from women, really, in general. Especially if you're a man. Oh yeah, especially if you're a man. And if you're a woman, when it comes to dating advice, you really need to vet the person that's giving you that advice. So if it comes to dating, really the woman is this is why they try to make communities and all this stuff, because a woman's really they're supposed to have their brother or their father really pick the man for them. But because we let women decide and we see what women decide, they decide criminals. They pick criminals first. Criminals are first on the list, then the athletes, and then the physical freaks of nature, and then they'll try to pick other people. You might, and I always say this. Let me see. You see, yuck, fun like a roller coaster, all highs and fast. But the thing in America, because that whole bad thing and all these criminals and all this stuff, it's easy to say that in America, but if you live in a place like Brazil, you can't be like they're willing to say stuff like this in public in America, but they can't say that in Brazil, right? Or Colombia. They're looking for a nice guy at least in their top 3. If you go overseas, I'm not saying they're first place, but at least they're in their top 3 or top 5. In America, to look for a nice guy, that's like it's not even in their like top 50. They're that's like in case of emergency. If all else fails, they will go through a whole list of type of dudes before they go for a regular dude. At least if you go overseas, a regular dude is at least in their top 5 or top 10 type of dudes. A regular dude to be with, because women overseas can't afford to be like, I like criminals and all this. I can only be with street ninjas and all this stuff. They don't be saying that overseas. And if they do that, they do that in private. He said dating advice from the side that created one night stand culture. Yeah. That's why I say you're not really supposed to take dating advice from women in general. I'll say women can't even take genuine advice from other women, no matter the age, mind you. I would like, yeah, I think really women really should be getting their dating advice only from men. I believe that actually, because I remember I said, I said the greenest, because women were talking about what's a red flag, or no, they would say what's a green flag and all this stuff, and they were saying all these things that they don't go for, right? Or they were saying things that are actually red flags. It was like all types of answers in the comments. And then I remember I had said something. I said, well, a green flag in a guy is a guy that honors and respects his father and looks at his father as a superhero. That guy, it might be the greenest of flags. That's literally that's a life hack right there that I gave. And mind you, I don't even care what women pick. I'm not invested in their interest anymore. But here I am, I'm giving a life hack that I just wrote in passing, and you got women talking about, oh no, like when I said a guy that respects his father, or whatever, or deems his father as his superhero, right? Or as a man to look up to, a man that he wants to honor. It was women mad that I said that. What about his mom? Now we got fast forward to like almost a year later. You got broads on here talking about, oh yeah, I can't date dudes that have a good that that didn't grow up with a father. I'm like, oh, you saying that now? Now you're saying that because now they're dealing with the results of what happened when you have a whole generation of men that grew up around single mammies and sisters and having all female relatives and stuff like that. Now they're dealing with the reality that they're dealing with men that don't really feel the obligation to quote unquote take care of them. And that's why I'm like, well, that's why I said you need to find a dude that wants to be like his dad. Because when you're dealing with a normal situation, if you're dealing with a normal situation, you deal with a normal dude that had a normal family setting, that had a dad that took pride in taking care of his family, he's going to embody those same traits, and he's going to take care of you and yours. And even if you're a single mammy, if you're lucky enough to find a guy like that, you can probably even get a guy like that to do that stupid ish and take care of that bastard that you kept. But no, they don't. They see anything that praises the masculine, anything that praises masculinity, when that is being held in when the masculine is being held in priority, they look at it at women look at it as a diss. You know, that's it. So women, they create, they've created their own hellhole. They have nobody else to blame but themselves. They can blame feminism. They can blame, like, I see trad-con women try to blame feminism, and I just think it's an easy cop out to blame feminism for what they wanted to, like. Feminism was just, it was just a tool to help them do what they always wanted to do. That's my opinion really on feminism. It was just there, and the doctrines and everything, this is what they always wanted to do. How they're doing it. You know what I mean? This is what they always wanted to do. But now that it's not working anymore, now all that stuff is not working no more. It's not in their favor. Now all of a sudden they want to change the rules of the game. Oh, I can't date anybody. I can't date a man that didn't grow up with a father. Y'all saw those videos that I did on specifically black women saying that. I thought that was rich coming from them. I thought that was rich. I was like, are you serious? But anyways, this is why I covered specifically today Travis Hunter and Caitlin Clark, because I've seen a lot of hypocrisy, specifically with Travis Hunter. I don't see enough outrage specifically from black men from how she's acting, only from the OGs. That's what I realized from Travis Hunter. I see a lot of OGs telling him, yo, this is why I try to collaborate with as much OGs as possible. Guys 40 and above. This is why when it comes to even recommending Manosphere channels, I always say, who do I always say? Better Bachelor, Aaron Clary. Especially I'll say Aaron Clary, because you can't go wrong with those two older gentlemen, both over 40 years old. They have experience. They're not telling dudes to go out and cold approach and all this. No. They have the experience on their side. They're not blaming a specific, a specific race. We've had Angel up here. He's 58 years old. He'll come in here, and and he'll tell you, look, they're all the same. The older you get, you realize none of that stuff matters. So I don't see, like we said, I don't see enough black men really in terms of younger black men taking warning to the OGs. They're saying like, yo, I know that might be your preference, but that girl ain't it. You know what I mean? So that I found it very interesting because I already know if Leanna, whatever her name is, I'm already blanking on her name. If that was a black woman, they would be putting her on blast. And you'll be having all these think pieces from the black manosphere, why black men are dating out. But what's the point of dating? And I've always said it. What's the point of dating out if you're just going to date a different skin tone? But what's the point of different? Really, you're just all you're doing is changing the skin tone, but the behavior is the same. You got like I'm seeing like dudes like some of these. No, I'm not gonna say so. I seen a lot of these passport bros ending up with single mammies from Colombia, and I'm like, what's the point of being a passport bro if you're just gonna still end up with a single mom? You could have just stayed in America and do that. But that's just me. And then here we got on the Caitlin Clark side. You got TradCon dudes still waiting for the day that women learn their lesson. That's not going to happen. Caitlin Clark is going to save women's sports and she's going to show the right. That shit ain't going to happen. Give that ish up. Find something else to do. Now, regarding the false accusations, there's a reason why I didn't cover that Jay-Z story. Even though I said Jay-Z was next, there's a reason why I didn't cover that story, because I've been telling you guys, at the end of the day, you need to wait till all the facts come out before we make judgment. And really, and on a channel like this, we should be the first people to be like, nah, he's innocent. We should be early on saying he's innocent, rather be early on saying that he's guilty. That's my belief. I've come to the defenses of people that I don't even like at all, because I already know we if you're just setting a precedent of, oh, because I don't like this dude and then this bad news comes out about him, so I'm gonna just jump on it. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. Oh, that guy always looked creepy. No, I'm not gonna do that. We're gonna wait until all the facts come out. And now all those people that jumped on the hate Jay-Z train, right? And I still believe Jay-Z's a dirty dude. But I was like, let's wait for the facts to come out before I even make a video on this. Because I'm pretty sure people are wondering, well, why Chris ain't make no video on Jay-Z? Wasn't he the one that said Jay-Z's next? There's a method behind the madness. Trust me, I'm gonna wait till all the facts come out. I'm gonna wait. And even like say in an opposite land, say if Jay-Z was guilty of messing with that chick at 13, people might think I'm wrong for this, but I would have questions for the 13-year-old broad. Why are you 13 years old thinking about going to a Diddy party, Jay-Z party? And people be like, yo, that's sick. I'll be like, whoa, well, hey. At 13 years old, I was trying to play video games and, Madden and FIFA and Call of Duty. I wasn't thinking about it. First of all, there's no way for a 13-year-old boy to even get into a Diddy / Jay-Z party, after party. I don't know how that would be able to work out. Second of all, for you to be 13 and then you said you was at you could just gain access to a party like that? What? And then you gonna wait how many years later? It put a false case on, and like I said, it's gonna be a lot more false accusations like that, just to find out that the people that she was saying that was involved in this situation, they weren't even there. So it's all in her head. And really, you know what that means if that was all in her head. That's something that she was fantasizing about. No disrespect to her. So for that all to be all in her head, that really means that she was fantasizing about that kind of stuff when she was that age. But that's a whole other story for another day. People might think that's sick. people not ready for that discussion. Feminism was the spark plug that started the engine of their degen lifestyle they were dreaming of. Facts. And it's always been about wanting to have their own sexual exploits because they think being a man or they think being dominant is just being promiscuous and still being able to function afterwards. They want to be able to sleep around and then not have it negatively impact their reputation. That's basically really what feminism is about. That's why they're so heavy on legalizing, baby deletion, because it's the number one. That's the ultimate fail safe for, okay, if this doesn't work out, I can always just do this. Truth Hunter said they were definitely fantasizing about bad behavior before feminism. Exactly. That's what people act like that. This is just something that feminism introduced. No, they've always wanted to do that. This what they're doing now. That's what they've always wanted to do. It's just that men were very blind to it. And then on top of that, women needed men in the past. They needed them. They literally could not survive without men. But what people don't understand, that can that can conjure up contempt over time. Where, like, imagine the life of a female during that time. They might have felt that they were smarter than their man, or they might have felt that they were quote unquote better than their man. But at the end of the day, they can't do nothing without a man. That conjures up like that. Was it familiarity breeds contempt. So over time, you'll have these group of women that they're just so mad that they're helpless physically. You know, this is something like the way that they look. This is what they wanted to. They've always wanted to do that. Pyro said it. It's like uh, it's like these books they read is just corn at this point. Yeah, people don't understand. What's it? 50 Shades of Grey. It was able to be like the bestseller without zero promotion, zero media promotion. Like I remember like hearing like on a Christian radio show they was even talk about 50 Shades of Grey, and even I remember like the female radio host was making an excuse. I mean, I guess you could read it for the plot. You're just like, what? And I think I was in like what, like ninth grade when I heard that. I was like, what? That can't. I asked my mom, like, that can't be right. She needed my mom to shake my. She just shook her head. Anyways, you see, need more proof on Jay-Z. Def thought LeBron going silent was weird at first, though. Well, like I always compare LeBron to that character from that Marvel show, The Runaways. Like the black dad from the Marvel Runaways. That's who I compare LeBron to. Anybody that knows the show, the Runaways, they know exactly who I'm talking about. That's LeBron James, basically. That's my opinion. I could be wrong about that, but that's him. But yeah, LeBron is aligned with a lot of these very suspect people, and so is Jay Z. Jay Z's gonna get his eventually, but but not like this. Not like this. Jay Z will get his eventually, but not like this. Power said women feel useless without dudes. That's why they hate men, but it could be more than that. Yeah, it's obviously more than that, but you got to always take it in a woman's perspective. Like, imagine just being a woman, even in today's age, where like as a man, you want to like say if you're a man, right, and you just want to reorganize your room, you want to move your room around, you want to move the fridge or whatever. Like as a man, you could just move stuff around in your room, you know, rearrange your mattress, carry all your groceries without help. Like there's a lot of stuff as a man you take for granted. Men's natural like skill for tools, fixing stuff. We look to fix stuff first before we ask for. So it's just we're just used to just doing these things, putting things together, putting furniture together. But as a woman, like you're always gonna need. Most women always need help with that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a frustrating existence for women like that. You know what I mean? So this is where the empathy has to come in, and this is why like I've seen like women look at me with like just pure contempt because like I'm not like a handy type of dude, but like I remember we had this designer. No, like we had this woman that was in charge of like tools, fixing stuff, but she would always need help. Even though like she knew what she was doing, but she would always need help because physically she just couldn't do it. And there were things I would help her with, even though she was more knowledgeable on the materials, on how to use things and how to, take things apart and blah blah blah. Like I remember I was like, wait, like this, and then I would just do it effortlessly. And she would just be like she would hide it because she was still cool, like but you could tell like she was just so jealous of just because as a man you're just physically, and mind you, I have all these injuries on my shoulder, my arms. I can't do like heavy lifting and all this stuff, but I can still do these things that she's like struggling to do with relative ease because it's just the natural physical prowess. You know what I mean? And she's like, no, I'm trying to reach this and I'm trying to unscrew this, but I can't. And then I'm doing it effortlessly, and I don't even use tools. You know what I mean? And I'm just doing it effortlessly. So it's like hold on for a sec. I'm seeing some. So Truth Hunter said, wonder if it was Jay-Z related or Diddy. Um I don't. Well, obviously he couldn't have went silent because they saying like what happened to that girl was like in the year like 2002 or like 2003. Like LeBron was in high school then. You know what I mean? That so. But in terms of LeBron going silent, I don't know if he's getting um he's probably getting held up. Maybe he's getting extorted like Jay-Z was getting extorted. You know what I mean? But I think with LeBron's case, I really hope it's not him getting caught up with another man. I really hope it's I really hope it's not that, man. Hopefully it's just some broad that he messed with, and then the broad is trying to shake him down for the NDA money and some. Hopefully it's that. That would break my heart if I found out LeBron was down low. That would really break my heart. But then but then let me also add this. What a lot of people don't understand too is with Diddy, And with a lot of predators, what they'll do, they will drug up, they will get these guys and they'll drink something, and they will have these guys on camera inebriated, and really those guys don't know what's going on, but they're being molested or raped by other men, and they have this on camera, so it looks consensual but it's not. And there's a lot of dudes in Hollywood that are caught up that way, where they got drugged and then they really got taken advantage of, you know. He said like he's a witness. Well, LeBron is probably a witness to a lot of things. I'm talking about a witness to a lot of things in general. Same thing, I believe Jay-Z's a witness to a lot of things that eventually it will all come to light. Because people don't understand, like Jay-Z and R. Kelly, they were boys. They were homeboys at one point. And I believe, first of all, I think because it was a lot of dudes basically admitting that when Aaliyah was like 16 or 17 years old, they were all in love with her. And people don't understand the 90s, that was a different time. That kind of behavior wasn't really frowned upon during that time. And I believe, I believe Jay-Z smashed Aaliyah too. I believe Jay-Z smashed Aaliyah. Because if he was already courting Beyonce when she was like 16, 17 years old, there's no way he was not involved with Aaliyah. There's no way he was not. Aaliyah was definitely a pass around. She was definitely a pass around at such a young age too. She was definitely a pass around. But yeah, that's all I got for today, guys. I went way over time, but man, I got more content coming soon, man. Thank you guys for staying engaged. You know, Travis Hunter, Caitlin Clark, those are really the topics I really wanted to speak on. False accusations is just going to be dime a dozen. I keep telling you, it's going to be a lot of women coming forward trying to extort athletes, seeking if the women that were on seeking arrangements and all this stuff. I already told you what was going to happen with that. So anyways, but man, thank you guys for staying engaged. Travis Hunter, he's going to have to learn the hard way. And when it comes to Caitlin Clark, she's not the savior. She's not the savior you thought she was. And I told you guys this earlier this year. You guys are putting way too much into her. But hopefully she stays successful. Hopefully and she'll learn her lesson too in her own way. The people that she's sticking up for, they hate her the most. So yeah, man. Thank you, man. You already know. South Holland, thank you, man. Peace out. Truth Hunter, Pyro, Warband members, any newcomers that came in, thank you for tuning in for today's stream. I will be live streaming a little bit more. I've been working out some things in my personal life. I should, things happen. But I will be live streaming a little bit more content coming soon. But I was intentional with the Jay-Z, with a lot of these news. You got to wait these things out before you make, your videos. Diddy, I was on it because I already knew more was coming. I already knew the avalanche was coming, so I wanted to stay ahead. But when it comes to these things, you have to wait. You have to be patient. You have to be patient. But anyways, man, thank you guys for tuning in, and peace out.